screaming like a blown out V8. Sun coming up, man, it feels too late. Head still pounding from the night before, but Daytona's calling, can't ignore that roar. Coffee shaking in a paper cup, heartbeat sinking when the engines fire up. New year, new scar, same old dream. Wide open throttle, know what I mean. Red eyes, white lines, speedway lights, trying to remember how we got through last night. It's a Hangover 250, let the engine sing. Hair of the dog at 193, brought to you by holding it tight. JW paint shining on the Florida lines, draft locked in, chasing victory. Welcome to the Daytona, hang on and believe. Next gen body slicing through the air, steel nerve, steady hands, nobody cares how late you were or what you drank when you wide deep in the tri-oval bank. Spotter yelling clear, clear, clear. Every mistake feels real damn near. One bad move, you're in the wall. One good run, you're standing tall. Sweat on the wheels, sun in your eyes, living on instinct and borderline lies. It's the Hangover 250, full send speed from pit road prayers to checker dreams. High gear racing keeps the fire alive. JW paints makes every number shine. White flag waving, destiny. Daytona don't forgive, but it might set you free. New year starts on a razor's edge, luck and skill on a concrete ledge. Laughing at pain, chasing the high, hungover hearts that still know why. Yeah, the Hangover 250. Yeah, the Hangover 250. Hear the crowd ignite. Morning regrets meet racing night. High gear racing, foot to the floor. JW paints, no detail ignored. From the first green flag to victory lane, Daytona wakes you up with speed and pain. If you made it through the chaos and the roar, kept it straight, went it back for more. Bruised and breathing, that's how you survive the Hangover 250 Daytona Drive.
Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to New Year's Day, Digital Racing Sports Network. My name is Chris Murphy, and I'm joined with my good friend, Mr. Alec Goldschmidt, here today for the Hangover 250, brought to you by JW Paints and High Gear Racing. It is going to be an exciting 100 laps. We've got looks like about 30 drivers here with us today, and we'll take a quick look at the format. So Hangover 250, so we're going to have one lap of qualifying, which they're on track right now for their out laps. We'll get to that here in a second. Two 10-lap heat races, going to split the field up, going to determine the lineup for the 40-car feature. Then a 100-lap feature, no fast repairs, 100% fuel. We're estimating about laps 32 to 34 under green flag conditions, and 3 green-white checkered attempts. Hopefully, we don't have to see those. But Alex, an exciting day here at Daytona. What are you looking
It,
for here
it
today
is.
with these guys?
Well, firstly, Chris, Happy New Year, buddy. Great to be alongside you with our first broadcast of 2026 here on the Digital Racing Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Daytona needs no introduction. 2.5 miles, flat out, over 200 miles an hour. Close pack racing, and there's some cash up for grabs as well, to be completely truthful with you folks. But yeah, what I'm expecting is when you've got, this is the home of the Daytona 500, the Coke Zero Sugar 400, and of course the duel at Daytona. So this track, with its banking, of course, yes, we do have the sports car side of things, but it's good old tri-oval action, and it's going to be interesting once we go green. But of course, there's always that risk at Daytona of what they like to call in NASCAR terms the big one.
Yeah, we're getting our qualifying laps in right now, and it's Andrew. We talked about this earlier before the broadcast.
Paleschke, yeah,
Pulaski.
Andrew Paleschke's did go
Again,
top, but
Logan
Logan
Helton.
Helton's just beaten him with a 43.237,
He's
and
gonna go for a ride after this lap.
decides to he went for a bit of a roller coaster, barrel rolling like nobody's business in the Chevy. But at least the good thing is that in tonight's event, we've also got all three marques, Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet, represented as we normally see de rigueur in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. We also have to say our condolences to Denny Hamlin and his family with the recent tragedy that happened stateside earlier on due to the fire. So our thoughts and our prayers are with Denny and his family at this difficult time. But we'll race in honor of his family tonight, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because, more to the point, there's not a lot of room for movement here at Daytona, and we know that with this close, with the racing that NASCAR always brings, we don't want anyone being told by their crew chief to go out and hit the pace car,
No, not
like
at
in
all.
Days of Thunder. No,
Yeah.
no. We don't want a cold trickle happening there. But it's more the case of Daytona always brings the noise, always brings the action, and qualifying they've got no assistance. But when you get into that pack racing, it's about tactics, it's about skill set, it's about making the best of an opportunity. When you're going 3 wide into the 31-degree angled banking, heading into the tri-oval, you're really having to push the limits of what these cars will have in terms of adhesion.
Yeah, and we're looking forward wrapping up qualifying here. This is going to be a lot of fun. I expect a lot of 3 wide, 4 wide racing here with this group. I ran some races with this group of guys, and this is going to be an exciting day. Cody Neagles right now at the top of the chart with a 48.223. That is a dang good lap around here at Daytona. 34 seconds left here in qualifying. Helton going to be there in second. We've got a few drivers back towards the back that are choosing not to qualify, so they're just going to get thrown to the back of these heat races. But right now it's Neagles, Helton, Hennings, Austin Call, John Ward, Andrew Paleschke, Richard Elliott Merck, Justin Prince, Todd Merkel is going to round out our top 10 here in qualifying as we're getting this wrapped up. 10 laps.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I mean, you see the 18 on our screen, folks. They're covered by just over a tenth and a half. That is incredibly, incredibly close. But I think some people are hoping for a few wrecks in front of them as the session is now officially timed out, and it is Cody Neagles that takes overall pole position in time qualifying. 18 out of the 30 plus have done their qualifying. Then you see the likes of Daniel Falking and one of the pros that you'll normally see on the Coca-Cola NASCAR iRacing series. But you see, look, the top 13 with Michael Barksdale covered by 94 thousandths. That is how close NASCAR qualifying can be, even on the sim.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting. And the thing about here at Daytona, once we get to the feature event, it really didn't matter where you qualify. But only 10 laps here in these heat races. I mean, you can make some big moves quickly at Daytona if you can just find the right partner and find the right hole. But still, 10 laps is not a lot of time to make up some ground here. So we'll see. It looks like we're going to be split into 2 16-car heat races. We'll get the grid up here. It looks like everybody's just about gridded up. We'll get the lineup for this first heat.
Yeah, and of course we've got the iRacing special events. So the traditional This is going to be a bit of a tune-up race for a lot of the drivers that will compete in the iRacing Daytona 500 later on this month. I mean, we've got a lot of racing happening in the sim racing world anyway, with the Daytona 24, the Daytona 500. It's anyone who's anybody. If you don't have a strong heartbeat when you're talking about Daytona, you've got a rock for a heart, I'm afraid.
Oh, no doubt. There's nothing going to be. I mean, there's a bunch of exciting events coming on here at Daytona, iRacing and in IRL. But I see a lot of people practicing for the Daytona 24 hours. A lot of lobbies going up for that. But I'm also seeing a lot of practice lobbies going up for the oval track as well. We've got a couple of big events going on, and also over here with the I can throw some more graphics up on the screen here. But over here with the High Gear Racing, BDR, and JW Paints, these guys are always putting on events just about every single day. So if you're looking for races to get into, check these guys out on their Discords.
I think it's going to be interesting with how these. We have got a Cole Trickle style tribute livery. Is our
74 there.
First heat? Yeah, 74. That is Brian Hennings. Channeling is in a Cole Trickle. As we've got the we've got the good old pace truck here. I mean, it's quite interesting when people say, "Well, why do you guys say safety car over in Europe?" Well, look, it's just. It's a safety measure, but they are starting to grid up for our first of two 10-lap heats. I mean, that's 25 miles. Anything can happen.
Here's our lineup. On the pole going to be Cody Neagles here in heat race number 1 outside, and that Cole Trickles, Brian Hennings in row number 2. Logan Helton, John Ward going to start in that 4 spot outside of row number 2. Going to be in the 3rd row. Now it's going to be Austin Collin. That number 18 outside of him is going to be Richard Elliott. Justin Prince going to start back in the 5th spot, Andrew Pileski right next to him. And let me see, maybe this grid's kind of messing up on me here just a little bit. Let's go back to the traditional grid. I know I was kind of.
I think let's. There we go. So there we go. So we've got Justin Prince, Justin Lewis, row 3, Michael Barksdale, Brady Stefan, row 4, Mark Vondell and Daniel Falkingham rounding out your top 10. Matthew Baker and Dylan C. Jones, row 6, Larry McDonald, Kenneth McCulloch. Then we've got Tucker McClendon, Corey Cheney, rounding out 16 cars on this heat. But the pace truck has got its lights out, and very shortly when that dives into pit road, we will be going green here for the first time for the Hangover 250 here in 2026, folks. Hold on to your hats, it's going to be a roller coaster ride.
Pace truck getting pulled down into pit road. Neagles and Henny is going to bring us to the line. Watch that 16 down on the bottom. Keep your eye on that Corey Cheney back there in that 12 in that back row. He's going to come charging to the front. Neagle's going to bring us to the starting grid. And we are green flag here at Daytona for the first heat race here in the Hangover 250. It's Neagles, Hennings, Ward, and Prince right now. Your top 4, but we are 2 by 2 all the way through the back of the pack.
Yeah, and it's the low side at the moment towards the black and yellow tram lines towards the bottom end of the circuit. That seems to be the best place at the moment. But for the high side, they are really going wheel to wheel, side by side. It's 3 wide in the mid pack, and this is where people are going to start jockeying for position down this very, very long back straightaway coming out of turn 2. But it is Brian Hennings that leads the way, just a fraction ahead, about half a car length in front of Cody Neagles, who gets the side draft. And with him, it looks like John Ward is going along for good measure in the 92 Ford. As they come out of 3 and head into the tri-oval, it is a bit of, they've got to wrestle, and there's a big wreck in the background. Someone's going round. That's Tucker McClendon, hard into the fence, hard into the wall. And there's even a bit of afters heading into pit lane. So that is Kenneth McCulloch Jr., who's been sideswiped. He's got the black flag. Cheney's got a mechanical, but Cody Neagles now switches to the high side. And that's playing good to him at the minute. He's playing the strategy wise at the moment, but he's got no one to, he'll have the bump draft, he'll have those people behind him pushing him along, which will include the likes of Ward, the likes of Hennings, who are now starting to stretch out a little bit as you got towards the bottom. I think that's Justin Prince towards the low side of the circuit, but Neagles really stamping his authority on the race in the early stages as we go across the line and we start lap 3.
Yeah, we're 9-lap heat races here. 3 laps in, 6 laps left to go. Neagles to the front. John Ward right there pushing. John, when you're up in the front of one of these races, you see that 92 behind you like that, you know he's going to help you out. Ward, one of the better pushers here at these super speedways. Henning's right there in that 74. Henning's had the lead earlier, but made a little mistake, and that cost him. But he's right back there in the third, right behind Ward. And then we've got Justin Prince down there on the bottom in the 30, Michael Barksdale. And look at that, the 39 of Falkenham trying to make his way up through the field here. He's back up to about, it looks like in the 6th spot right now. But like you said, McCullough and Corey Cheney both out of this heat race. But fortunately, we had less than 40 cars show up for the event, so I think everybody's going to make the feature. But right now, we've got about 6 laps left to go. And Eagles feed. We're 3 wide now, heading down through the front straightaway, down into turn number 1.
This is just going to give it too close for comfort, but at over 200 plus miles an hour, you're basically going to feel whether the car's going to feel a little bit loose at the back end. If it starts to spin out on you, you've got to correct it very, very quickly to mediate things. But they've gone down the back stretch. It's the long run down into turn 3, and Eagles still, with the likes of Ward and Hennings, they are really putting on a bit of a show. But look who's down at the bottom. That is the... I think, well, there is going to be a lead change coming up here, and that's Daniel Falkingham, who didn't put a lap in qualifying, as the number 39 makes his way to the lead of the pack, as we are 4 laps still to go, and Falkingham and Eagles are side by side. It's 2x2 Noah's Ark style going through into this part of the circuit. Now, this is coming out of turn 2, and one of the things they don't want to have happen is a bump and run. Dylan Jones drops down to 6th spot, but has the fastest lap of the race, 45.096. But Falkingham, we knew, was going to come out strong in this race. He's battered away with Logan Helton for that P2, and now look at it. It's now the case of Neagles is being caught, and he gets a push from behind, courtesy of John Ward, and Falkingham still keeping to the low side. He's using that side draft here, and that's going to be very crucial. 3 laps to go. We'll make that 4, including this one. And it's so tough to call in this kind of pack racing here, Chris. You don't know who's going to put their blackjack on the table right up until the last lap. As soon as we go white flag, it's all or nothing.
Now you got people right now. You think are your friends. You look at John Ward right there pushing Cody Neagles. But I know if Ward gets a chance, he's going to dive to the bottom. Here comes Falkenham back down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get back up along Ward for second. And Neagles doing a good job dropping down off that top line, blocking off that run from the bottom. So Neagles now drops down in front of Falkenham. They've got the 5 car of Matthew Baker along there behind him as well. But here comes Ward back up to the top. Neagles doing a good job of just kind of moving back and forth to whichever line looks to have the speed. So let's see if he can throw the block at the right moment. I mean, it's only a heat race here, but every driver, anytime you're on the racetrack, you want to win. And right now, Neagles doing a good job picking the right partner at the right time.
Yeah, it is going to be that case of being right place, right opportunity as they come down. And look at this, 2 by 2 by 2 down the backstretch into 3. As we'll have 2 to go after this one, as we're about to hit lap number 8. But Cody Neagles, as you rightly put there, Chris, is comfortably controlling this race. It's 3 wide for second position. Falkingham to the inside. John Ward, Piggy in the middle. And then you've got Brian Henning slotting back in behind the number 92. They seem to be working quite well together. But Falkingham's got his way up into P2 briefly for a moment. I think he's got Matthew Baker in the number 5 just behind him. And Eagles ahead by half a car length. But next time around, it's going to be 1 to go. We'll be on the white flag, and Neagles has led every lap so far.
Yeah, white flag coming out as they head down the back straightaway here one more time into 3 and 4. Neagles, Falkenham right there in second. Look for Ward up on the outside. Ward's trying to team up with the 74 of Hennings to get alongside. But that bottom line looks to be pretty strong right now with Neagles, Falkenham, and Baker, as they've actually pulled ahead a little bit, trying to bring along the 32 of Justin Price as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a mere formality as they come across the line. It is going to be Cody Neagles that is going to take us onto the white flag lap. 1 to go, 2.5 miles. And Falkingham, who started down in the 10th spot, is on course for pushing Cody Neagles along. But like you said, Falkingham now has a handful of drivers, one of 2 drivers. He loses out to Baker, down to the inside. That's Falkingham trying to time his opportunity.
They left him hanging down there.
Yeah, like literally, he's lost out big time. But it is going to be between Neagles, Baker, and Ward for the win in this opening heat. Neagles to the low side, covers off nicely, And now it's a free-for-all. Look how they're fanning out. And oh, no! That's a big old spin for John Ward, and it causes the big one. But Cody Neagles wins the opening heat.
Crashed right at the line. Ward doing a good job pushing up there. He's going to fall all the way back to 8th right there. Neagles just did everything he had to do. You know, sometimes in these races, you don't know if you want to be out in front or out in back to miss the incidents. But Neagles did exactly what he had to do. Stayed up front the whole race. Moved around from line to line, just exactly where he needed to go. We're going to go back and take a look at that finisher real quick and see if we can see exactly what happened.
Yeah, I think there was contact to the, there was a little bit of instability behind Cody Neagles when it came to that dirty air. You know, the aero wash can cause a problem, but if the back end of the car slightly goes loose, then you're going to find that your car's going to be. So yeah, that's the. Yeah, right. It looks like the 33 was involved there as well. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's that's the thing. I've been learning a lot in the build up to 2026, especially with the fact of us having the Aces Up 360 Winter Freeze series, which returns next week. But yeah, it's just it's how close can it be, and that was exactly how you want a heat race to go. But we've got another one still to decide our grid for the Hangover 250 itself, Chris. And we've got a few that didn't settle out.
Go ahead and give me the grid there. I was announcing it with my mic muted.
No, don't worry. Logan Helton starts on pole position. He'll have Austin Coulter, who's outside of the number 7 Texas Independent Racing entry. Andrew Pileski and Jeff Merck ran out row 2. Todd Merkel and Maxwell Caldwell on row 3. Quinton Steinbach and Matt Metler round out your top 8 with Stephen Scott Jr., Stephen Miles, Joey Maskovich, and Kevin Allen rounding out the top 12 on this grid. But the good thing is that they will see how they go. You've got the likes of Joshua McCulloch and Christopher E. Carter and Joey Allen bringing up the rear in the 05, 25 and 27. Some of the drivers opting not to go for lap times in qualifying. It was a one-lap shootout, effectively. But now the field is starting to get into the customary Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Pace truck into pit road. Let's go to green here, Chris, for one more time for the heats.
Yeah, Austin Call going to bring us to the line. He's got Logan Helton up on the outside, Jeff Merck and Andrew Pileski. So let's see what they get down into turn number 1. Let's see if we can make this race clean and green all the way through the 63 of Helton with a little bit of a jump. But watch that outside line get some momentum as they head down into 1. The 18 of Call is going to push them along, but actually Helton and Pileski get a good run down there. But we're already 3 wide right there. It looked like the 18 kind of got left hanging out of there. I think he got a little bit loose, chased the car up the racetrack, and that is going to cost him and Austin Call falling to the back of this field.
But with it being a very, very short race, the strategy is going to come more into the 100-lap feature that we got coming up, which will be the Hangover 250 here at Daytona International Speedway. The World Centre of Racing is more commonly known, but the top 2 at the front, Helton and Pileski, running line astern, but there's a bit of a side draft for the number 60, Jeff Merck. And then you've also got Maxwell Caldwell also showing his nose. So like we saw in the opening heat with likes of Cody Neagles et al., the high side of the circuit as they go through the 31-degree banking and then onto, out of turn 2, onto the backstretch. And look at the run that number 15, that's Matt Metler diving to the inside, but he's not getting the toe that he needed, nor the side draft. And more to the point, it's going to be the fact that Austin Cole's got to do a top gear from the rear, as we would say in the United Kingdom. He got left hanging high and dry, but look, we're 2 wide at the front end of the field, and now it's 3 wide for the lead, and Merck gets dumped down to 5th at least, make that 7th, and what happened to Cole earlier on is now happening to him. He's being absolutely pit boxed in right now.
Yeah, we're 3 wide back here with Carter Pileski, and it looks like the 60 of Jeff Merck right now. He's kind of stuck there in the middle of the racetrack. That's not a place you want to be at Daytona, especially if you're in the middle there by yourself, because you can see that outside line now pulling away. Elton, Miles, and Allen now are our top 3. Looking pretty strong here right now. So far, no big incidents here other than the call getting loose and falling to the back, but we've made it so far clean here through the first few laps here in heat race number 2.
Yeah, fastest lap of the race so far by the 0.5 of Joshua McCulloch at 44.915. But look at this, 7 cars lied astern. They're covered by next to nothing when you consider it. The top 7 covered by half a second. And we're riding on board with McCulloch at the moment. He's got Christopher Carter just in front, but look at the low side. They're now picking up speed, and quickly Helton dives to the low side to cover off. And then it's Miles that now has the race lead, as they are. It looks like he's running the Jeff Gordon tribute livery. Jeff Gordon now these days involved with Hendricks Motorsport in NASCAR as one of their senior management. But again, 3 wide towards the mid-pack. And again, still, how close are these cars? Incredibly close. There's gaps that are not even a 1/10 of a second until you get down to Joey Allen in right down at the bottom of the pack. But this is just great what you want to see. There's
here we go.
There's bit of a wobble.
Oh, he gets
there
back into him again.
Oh no, and it's a big one. And most of the field have wrecked. Oh, heavens to Betsy. That was only going to end in tears. And, well, there's one car with its front bumper completely off the vehicle. The suspension on the right front. So Merck, McCulloch, Helton, Carter, Caldwell and Merkel, all with mechanicals. They're going to have to park it into pit road, I'm afraid. And luckily enough, Stephen Miles got away with that one, but it was the wobble. It was that big wobble that we saw from Maxwell Caldwell. He gets a touch.
Well, you look, just roll back here just a little bit. I hate to rewind, but it's the best option at the moment if I can get it to rewind. You looked at it, Miles, they kind of got together a little bit, and if Miles would have just let off a little bit more there, I mean, if you look right here, he gets into the back of him, that gets Caldwell a little bit loose, and he just gets back into him a second time. And that's what turns Caldwell around, and that just piles up I think maybe only 2 cars in this whole field. The 16 and the 27 look like to be the only, the 27 gets a hard punt right there. But it looks like the 16 might have been the only car in this whole field that did not collect some kind of damage in that incident.
And that did bring us to caution as well, so our first caution of the night, and it was a big wreck as well. So pace truck now being deployed, lights up the rear tyres, so full course caution. As Heat 2, a lot more drama than Heat 1. But up until that point, before that moment, between the 24, and the 90, well, with the 24 and the 94, Maxwell Caldwell, he was just a passenger after that second touch. And that just goes to show how quickly you can lose adhesion on the track here at Daytona.
It doesn't take much, just a little bit of a tap right there, as we saw. And we're going to have to, when we do heat races from now, we're not going to do replays because I'm struggling to get it back to the live screen here. But we've got a couple more laps here of caution. But just a little contact. You can see, it just takes a little bit right there, and Miles just kind of got right into that left rear quarter of Caldwell. And that's all it really took to get this field piled up.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how quick, like you say. And then obviously with the amount of damage that you can see sustained on the front of that car there in the pit road, it is not the thing that you want to have happen, because there is money up for grabs here in the Hangover 250. And with it being under caution, there's a few that have had to go into pit road, repair that damage, get the cars back there's no fast repairs. So whatever damage you get, and Jeff Merck and Logan Helton have been on their marks in pit road for at least 2 minutes. So that's probably going to call time on their heat adventures. They're going to have to wait until the Hangover 250 itself to get a second chance at redemption.
Yeah, the 76 of I called it the 16 earlier, but it was actually the 76 of Allen. Looked to be the only car that did not get some damage out of that incident. We're getting lined up here. The light's still on the pace truck, so it's still trying to get us back to live time here, Alex. So there we go.
Yep. And as you can see in the ticker down at the bottom, next event on the Digital Racing Sports Network, the Ace is up, SimSport 360 Sprints return, and will be heading to USA International Speedway on January 7th for more dirt track action, which I've really, really come to enjoy. Once you gave me the call and said, do you want to join in for that? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go for it. So this being the first caution, that's one of the things about a caution on oval racing. It always gathers the pack up together, and more to the point, it means that those people that are still in the race. I mean, look at it. I mean, Kevin Allen up 11 spots, started on the outside of row 6 on the 12th spot, and is now at the front of it. So this could really help him in his chance for maybe to go for Hangover 250 glory here in 2026, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt at all, Alex. We started with 15 cars in this heat race here, and we're down to 7 right now. Helton, we've got about 3 laps left to go. Helton and Scott there on the outside in that 77. I really like that paint. I don't know who did that paint job on that 77. It's one of my favorite ones I've seen so far. But Pileski's still out there. Yeah, I like the
you got the chrome numbers on it as well. Like really gives it a little bit of a pop, doesn't it?
Yeah, trying to zoom in on it, but nothing's really working right. So, but yeah, I really got some puzzle pieces there. That's pretty creative. Find out who painted that car. Maybe it's JW Paints. I'm not sure, but we didn't mention our sponsors for this race. It is High Gear Racing and JW Paints here sponsoring this Hangover 250. My name is Chris Murphy with Alex Goldschmidt here with DRSN Digital Racing Sports Network. Happy to be here with you. Happy to have this. We had nothing else to do on a New Year's Day, right? We were just sitting around like everybody else.
Little Cheney 2010 in YouTube goes, going to be a long race with no fast repairs. Yep, you better believe it.
Yeah, no doubt there.
Especially for those sitting in pit road at the moment as well. So a few more of the drivers come out. So Caldwell, Carter, and Merkel are back out on track. Merck's now, I think, just come out of pit road as well. So he's a couple of laps down. So yeah, McCullough, Allen, and Helton, they still got a lot of repairs left to do, but Jeff Merck was in pit road for 4 minutes 20, and that is a big deficit to try and close up. But it won't be the case when we go to the 100 laps, so 250 miles of the Daytona International Speedway for the Hangover 250. It's. I'm going to put a question in. I'm going to put a question to you folks watching here on the Digital Racing Sports Network. How many cautions do you predict we might have in the main event?
Well, hopefully we don't have any more in this heat race. We've only got like 3 laps left to go. They're going to come off of turn 4, head into the tri-oval. Pace truck going to pull down one more time. It's going to be Kevin Allen and Steven Scott there on the front row with Pileski and Metler right there behind him. Watch that 15 car. Metler's kind of sneaky. But Allen gets a little bit of a jump, and maybe too much of a jump here at Daytona. He's got about a little separation here. Let's see what the 81 does, if he can get sucked back up to the back of that 76. But right now, Allen separated a little bit. Watch that outside line. That may hurt that bottom line. Watch the outside of Scott to see if he can get a run here coming off a 2 down the back straightaway.
Length of the race has been extended to 10 laps, so next time around we will go white flag. But yeah, Kevin Allen started from the outside of row number 6 on the 12th spot on the grid when we went green, and he has got Pileski right on his rear bumper. Mashkovich right there as well in the 84. And look at the number 18, that's Austin Cole, who is also closing in. So Allen's got to do a defensive like we saw with Neagles in the opening heat race. So white flag in the air. Final lap here in heat 2 to set us up for the grid for the Hangover 250. Allen leads the way. Mashkovich going to the high side ahead of Pileski. But they are still literally wheel to wheel. Cole, Metler are now... They're doing the big push now.
Watch that 81 take a look to the outside here. Go middle. 18 car. I thought 18 was going to go with him, but Pileski's going to move all the way up in front of the 64. Maskovich can they get outside line, get a run? The outside line looks a lot better formatted, a lot better organized anyway than that bottom line. But they're going to go 3 wide, 64 to the middle. We are going to come to the stripe 3 wide. They come off of turn number 4 to the line.
It's going to be Pileski. Pileski's going to have it here, or is it going to be the case? It was a photo finish. Pileski takes it, and it was nearly a dead heat.
Great finish right there at the end. Maskovich tried to do what he could to get to the front, but Pileski did a nice job. He took advantage of that last caution. I didn't realize that was going to be a green-white checker, but he took advantage of that last caution and made his way up to the front. Going to take the win here in heat race number 2. Let's see if we can get the results up on the screen from that heat as we're getting ready for our about a 5-minute warm-up here. So Andrew Pileski going to actually... Yeah, we'll just capture this one. Andrew Pileski taking the win there in heat race number 1 after that big incident took out some of our favorites in this race. But Stephen Miles going to come home in 2nd. Joey Maskovich in 3rd. Kevin Allen, Quentin Steinbrück with a nice finish there in the 5th spot. Austin Call, Steven Scott, Matt Metler. Metler was up there towards the front of that last restart, but unfortunately didn't make the right moves. Fell back to 8th. Christopher Carter, Maxwell Caldwell, Todd Merkel, Jeff Merck, Joshua McCullough, Joey Allen, and Logan Helton round out our 15-car field there in heat race number 2 as we get about a 4-minute warm-up here, Alex.
Yeah, I think it's just the case of now it's the calm before the storm. You know, when we go to green for the Hangover 250, all bets are off.
Yeah,
because with those 2 heats, they always set. You know, whenever you have heats leading to a feature race or a main, you know, it sets the tone for how things are going to go. And there's always that air of unpredictability whenever you get racing Daytona, whether it be oval, whether it be on the road course, it doesn't matter. And I think some drivers are just getting a little bit of a warm-up just to get themselves ready, because 30-plus cars going into turn 1 off of the tri-oval, it's, you know, it's hammer down, go for it, and drive it like you stole it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, actually, I think I see a few guys straggled in here that maybe weren't here for the heat races either. I see Larry McDonald, Jordan Caskey down there at the bottom of the lineup here as well. But, you know, it's such a fine line here at Daytona on the oval with this track. And, you know, you can go 3-4 wide on there. We'll see 4 wide racing, but it's just one quick moment of lack of concentration. You're going to make a mistake, and unfortunately, when you make a mistake here, it doesn't just affect you; it affects everybody around you. But it just doesn't take much here. You know, I ran a bunch of races here at Daytona and Talladega last week for some stuff, and any of these guys out here that I raced with last week are probably happier I'm sitting up in the booth, if I have to say so myself.
Yeah, I think it is going to be interesting. I think it's just now that the track temperature's just under 88 degrees Fahrenheit, air temperature 71.6, so we're looking about 22 degrees Celsius air temperature, and then you're probably talking more like about 30 to 35 degrees centigrade.
Oh, we have a cool
track
graphic
temps.
right
Oh yeah, there we go, 31 degrees Celsius. So I was right. 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius.
Look at you and your English,
humidity.
Matt.
Hey, well there we go. I'm not just a face for radio or commentary. No, I'd always one of my friends went, "Oh, you're quick on the draw when it comes to maths," and now I'm starting to get things right. I mean, you and I have commentated on races where we've had 50 degrees track temp, which equals 122 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And that was at a GT4 race for another network that we work with. But I think it's now just, you know, these are perfect conditions. You don't want the track temp to be too high, because obviously you've got to consider about your fuel and your tyre strategy. Because the circuit here at Daytona has always been known to be abrasive. It's been around for so long that you've got to, you know, the more laps, it's a bit like the Nürburgring Nordschleife. The more laps you know about, the more laps you've run about it, the more you're able to understand the subtle nuances of how the circuit develops over time.
Oh, no doubt out there. It's such a historic place to be. Been around since the 50s, and it's just I've actually made a trip down there to see it one time, not during the race, but we got about 45 seconds left here in warm up. So let me just take a minute and say my name's Chris Murphy with Alex Goldschmidt with DRSN Digital Racing Sports Network. Hey, if you haven't been here with us before, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, give us a follow. We're if you got some leagues out there, we're actually looking for some more work, believe it or not. So if you got a league cover, special events, whatever, we can be there for you. So we really appreciate JW Paints and High Gear Racing inviting us, in BDS here, having us here for the this Hangover 250. I'm really looking forward to this event. 100 laps around here is going to be exciting. And Alex, you asked earlier about a prediction on cautions, and it looks like Little Cheney was the only one that chimed in. He said, well, actually, he retracted his earlier message. He said 10, retracted that, and now he says hopefully only 3. So.
Yeah, I think I also have to agree with the sentiment about saying going to have to play it safe for the first half of the race. Yes, but as we know, that unpredictability here at Daytona means nothing is set in stone. As our good friend Barney, the flag marshal, waving the checkered over the start-finish line at the Tri-Oval, and we are going to have 32 cars getting set and ready, but it is going to be Cody Neagles that is going to lead from pole position, having won Heat 1. Andrew Pileski will be alongside him on the front row, having won Heat 2. And then, I think it's going to be interesting how Daniel Falkingham's going to play this one. He's a pro driver. He knows his stuff. He knows how to be a wheelman around here at Daytona. But it is a case of, take your opportunities once they come. But if you make a mistake, woe betide you if you are the one that causes the big one. And we've already had a big one in Heat 2.
Yeah, and again, it's good. You're going to see who's your friends early, and are they going to be your friends late? So you see some of these guys that crashed out earlier. I look at Joshua McCullough down there in the back of the pack. Kenneth McCullough starting to tail in this field. They're going to have to find some friends to try to work their way up to the front. But it is 100 laps. I'm going to have to say it's going to be an absolute miracle if we went completely caution free. So you're going to have to, when we do get those cautions, play it right, come in, get some fuel, get the tires, whatever you need to do. But it's a lot of pit strategy going to come into play here as well. We're looking at least, if we went green all the way somehow, we're looking at least 3 to 4 pit stops. So we're going to see a lot of action down the pit road. So they're going to on the racetrack. So I'm going to give you see if this grid works this time for you, Alex.
Okay, for the Hangover 250 here at Daytona, it's Cody Neagles and Andrew Pileski on the front row. Richard Elliott and Stephen Miles, your starting grid on row number 2. Row 3, Justin Lewis and Joey Mashkowitz will be on row 3. Row 4, Daniel Falkingham and Kevin Allen. And then we round out our top 10 with Justin Prince and Quinton Steinbach in the 33 and the 22 cars. Michael Barksdale and Austin Call round out row 6. And then we head to row 7. Brian Hennings and Stephen Scott Jr. in the 74 and the 77. Two of the best liveries on the grid, I think, in my honest opinion. John Ward and Matt Metler round out row 8. So there's your top 16 out of 32. Matthew Baker in the 5 and Christopher E. Carter in the 25 round out row 9. Completing your overall top 20 will be Mark Vondell and Maxwell Caldwell in the 59 and the 94. Dylan C. Jones and Todd Merkel round out row 11. Larry McDonald and Jeff Merck complete row 12, and that is 24. Just 8 more cars to go through before we complete the grid. Tucker McClendon and Joshua McCullough in the 00 and the 05. And then we'll have quite a few others. Corey Cheney, Logan Helton, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Kevin Allen, Matt Metler, Jordan Tasby as pace truck into pit lane. It is going to be Cody Neagles that will bring us to green here for the Hangover 250 for 2026, 100 laps, and we are green here at Daytona International Speedway. Neagles gets the whole shot. Pileski to the outside. He's got Elliott behind. Well, he's got Elliott behind him as they go through into turns 1 and 2. But it is Neagles ahead by a car length. Pileski keeping to that outside line. It looks like he's got Stephen Miles bump drafting on his rear bumper as they come out of turn 2. And now it's the run down into the back straightaway for the first time. And there is the face of Joey Mashkowitz for Ancient World Gaming, AWG, in the number 64 car. But he has really got a good run. Pileski now has the lead as they come through 4. 3 and 4, and then it's going to be the run to the triover very shortly. 18-degree banking. Neagles looks like he's trying to close the gap on the low side. He's getting a bump draft and an assist. Paleski leads us on to lap number 2, sets the fastest lap initially, 54.006, but Neagles looking very strong at that low side.
Yeah, Neagles looking good down there on the bottom. Paleski's getting some big help from Miles up there on the outside, and we've already got a separation of packs right here. We've got looks like about maybe 18 or 19, 20 cars here in this front pack. Paleski pulling the outside line along. Miles and Maskovich right on the outside. Neagles down there on the bottom. We've got a long way left to go in here. He's got that 02 of Quentin Steinbeck right behind him. Excuse me, the 22 of yes. So it says 02. I always get confused when the car numbers on the screen don't match my time in scoring. But it's Paleski out front. Miles and Steinbeck now.
Yeah, Mashkovich dove to the inside line and got in front of Cody Neagles. So good strategy call there by the 64. Stephen Scott Jr. rounding out your top 6, who's made up 8 spots already in the opening 2 laps. That's 5 miles completed, 95 to go. And at the minute, Paleski doing a great job at the head of the field. The outside line really starting to pull a lot of speed between them. You can see there's a line of 8 cars in a row. And there is the number 77. Stephen Scott Jr. riding behind Austin Cole, running on in the 18, kind of like Kyle Busch M&M's livery from back in the day.
Exactly.
Running it on the number 18, but should have they're showing us the number 7. There's Daniel Falkingham in the number 39 car, rounding out the 14th spot on the field as they once again will come in to complete another lap. So we're on to lap 4 out of 100, and look, now we're seeing a bit of a duel between Miles and Paleski for the lead as a bump draft from behind Maskovich on Miles, and Miles now takes the lead from Paleski, who's going to get dropped a little bit here.
Yeah, Miles was pushing Paleski along right there, but he saw that opportunity to get to the bottom of the racetrack. He drops down there. 64 Maskovich goes along with him. They have got the 6 of Neagles, or the 6 or 16, I don't know, 6 on my screen of Neagles right there in the 3rd spot, pushing along. So he's trying to get back to the front. He led every lap of that first heat race. You know he wants to get back to the front here in this feature event.
Yeah, but we are still early days in this race. There are a couple of cars looking a little bit loose coming out of turn 4 and heading into the tri-oval. But more to the point, it is now the fact that Joey Mashkovich leads the way. Paleski in 2nd position. And it is good to see where you got Ford versus Chevy, the highest Toyota. Quentin Steinbock in the number 22, now up to the 3rd position. So he's definitely showcasing what he's able to do. But Paleski now retakes the lead from Mashkovich. Miles down low on the low side of the circuit as they come out onto the back stretch. And once again, this leading pack is starting to internally battle, and what that means is that we're going to see a lot more of the drivers a little bit further back. Jeff Merck, in the meantime, is the first driver in the event so far, combined heat races and feature, that has gone sub 44 seconds. He's done a 43.990. He's up 5 spots now. Someone's just clipped the wall on the high side coming out of 2, but look at this, 3 wide from around about 5th spot backwards. They are jockeying for position here. This is where we see the first bit of how drivers are going to move around the circuit, as there is the 74 Brian Hennings, who started 13th, now finds himself in 21st. But look at the run that Andrew Paleski has got. He's got Stephen Miles. Here comes Cody Neagles looking to the high side behind Miles, who's got the lead ahead of Paleski. Niels and Steinbock making good their intentions on the high side.
Yeah, you can see real quick right there, Paleski and Miles work together a little bit off and on through this first part of this race, but you get an opportunity right there, you're just going to go out and take it. And you can see Miles just said, I have a chance to get to the front of this thing. I'm sorry, but we're going to drop you back here a few spots. And here comes Neagles tucked up into 2nd. Steinbeck looking really solid in that 22 car, now up to 3rd. And here comes that bottom line. Oh, Neagles sees that bottom line coming. A great move from Neagles to drop down and block that off. Gets a big push from 81, almost catches the rear bumper off center, but able to get a good push right there. But that was a great shot by Neagles. You see, he saw that bottom line come and dropped right down in front of the 81. But that outside line starting to get another run. Here comes Miles and Steinbeck now back up on the outside.
Yeah, he's got the likes of Austin Cole and I think Stephen Scott Jr. Scott Jr. is up 6 spots. but Neagle's back in the race lead. Peleski right on his rear bumper as they come down the back stretch. This has been very, very close, and when you think about it, the entirety of the field is covered by just over 2.7 seconds. We are on lap 8 out of 100 here at the Hangover 250, live and uninterrupted on the Digital Racing Sports Network with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Chris Murphy. Sorry, there's too many there's too many in this. I got myself crossed up there. Sorry, Chris.
No worries,
Chris
buddy.
Murphy. Big thank you to High Gear Racing and JW Prince and BDS for allowing us the opportunity to broadcast this event. But you can see on the on the timing tower, Jeff Merck, biggest mover so far, 10 spots gained, make that 11. As he's just got through on Todd Merkel. Joey Mashkowitz has dropped down the order and is running in the 14th spot at the moment. But it is now Peleski back in the lead, Miles in second, Steinbach third, Kuhl, Neagle, Scott, Elliott, Prince. And look at this, Merck has gone all the way up to 8th spot. So Jeff Merck is on an absolute tear. He's up to P6. He's using that slipstream like he needs it.
Yeah, Jeff Merck early. We saw that car kind of catch the outside wall. It looked like it was a 60 of Jeff Merck, but it didn't look like he took any damage as he's making his way to the front. Making some good. We looked just a few laps ago. He was back in like 20th. He is now up, fighting for that 3rd spot right now, as he is tucked up on the back of Austin Call. Austin Call with a good run here as well. He got involved in that, kind of dropped to the back of his heat race, was able to recover. Now he's up to second. Another car catching the wall right there. It looked like it might have been the 77 of Scott, but we got a 3-car breakaway a little bit here in the front. But don't expect that to last for very long.
Jeff Merck up 21 spots from the start of this race, as we're about to complete lap 10, so 1/10 distance of the Hangover 250 at Daytona for 2026 about to come to its end as we go through the Geico acceleration zone across the line, and that is now 10 laps down, 90 to go. A heck of a lot of that's a lot of miles already completed. 25 out of the 250 completed, 225 miles to go. And at the meantime, it's Stephen Miles that leads, and look who's challenging him for the lead. It's Jeff Merck in the 60, up now to P2, and look at that, Austin Call to the outside in the number 18, but here goes the move for the race lead. Is Jeff Merck going to make it through in front of Stephen Miles? It's going to be by a whisker at the moment as they come out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. And Jeff Merck at the moment having to hold back a little bit. He's got Cody Neagles from Nightmare Esports right behind him, but it's Stephen Miles that leads us on to lap 12. But Jeff Merck has been absolutely inspired, and down to the low side goes Austin Call for the race lead.
Austin Call going to drop down to the bottom. He saw the opportunity to get down in front of Merck. He is going to go to the front. The 18 now going to work his way down the back straightaway here. He has Miles up there on the outside. Call's got a good friend right there, Jeff Merck. He's his best friend out there on the racetrack right now, trying to give him a push, but that outside line is just really well organized. Miles, Peleski, and Elliott now starting to make a little bit of a gap. And look at the 22 of Quentin Steinberg still hanging around up there. And there's that Steven Scott in the 77. Don't count him out. He is right there in the picture.
A little bit of a big wobble there for the numbers for Jeff Merck in the number 60. But you can see that high side really paying dividends at the early stages of this race. And now we're seeing Stephen Scott Jr. dive to the inside of Quinton Steinbach, so that's a change for P4. And look at the run here by Richard Elliott to the low side. He's got through on Andrew Peleski, who ducks ahead for the moment as they go onto the back stretch. And straight away, there's Jeff Merck just pulling out of the dirty air. To the low side goes the 24 of Stephen, the 24 is Stephen Miles, showing us 28 on our timing. Miles retakes the lead. Elliott right on his rear bumper. This is great racing here at the Hangover 250. We are on lap number 14 out of 100, and this is just showing how competitive this race is being. Drivers not taking major risks at the moment. They're playing the long haul strategy game, and as you said, Chris, we could see 3 to 4 pit stops here at Daytona for this event, but at the moment the racing has been nothing if not absolutely spectacular to watch.
And fantastic so far. 14 laps into this race. We're running lap 13 laps down. We're on lap 14. No caution flags yet. The 02 of Elliott's found his way to the front, up a couple of spots. Our biggest mover in the race is Maxwell Caldwell back here in that 6th spot. He's up 14 spots after starting back in 20th. Let's see if he can make his way to the front. We got all 31 cars started this race, still 31 out there on the racetrack. But right now it's Richard Elliott. He's got Steinbreck, and you can see these guys drop down to the bottom. They saw that bottom line coming, and that's just right. The thing right there is you just got to make the right decision at the right time. If you can change lanes when you see that line coming at the right time, get down in front. But here comes Steinbreck on the outside. He wants to lead this race. They're going to leave Elliott stuck on the bottom by himself, and here goes Steinbreck to the lead with Miles pushing one more time.
Leshke's there right behind Miles in the number 81 car, so it's Toyota leads from Chevy occupying spots 2 to 7, and then the highest placed Ford is Todd Merkel in the number 2 car, up 14 positions. Jeff Merck unfortunately has dropped all the way down to 12th spot. Bradley Stefan in the 89 Camry is also making moves up the order. He's up 15 places, now runs in 12th position. But still, that high side really favouring a lot of the drivers. But Quinton Steinbach got a little bit of 5-second fade being at the sharp end of the field. But look who's bump drafting him at the back of that train. That's going to be the likes of, I think, John Ward and Stephen Scott Jr. down towards the bottom of the circuit. So more to the point, it is going to be the case of, there's been a little bit of an incident. We've got our first caution.
Got to figure out what that was, but it looks, you're right, first caution flag of the event. I see Kenneth McCullough kind of dropping down the list. Matthew Meltzer, who is that sitting on the bottom? That is the 00 of Tucker McClendon. So we'll see if we can go back here and see what happened to Tucker.
Yeah, looks like the left front's taking a little bit of a hit.
Yes, we see Tucker down here on the bottom. He's got that's the 30 car of Jones on the outside and the 00 right there behind him. So let's see as they head down into the corner. We'll see if we can see what happened here with McClendon.
There was a wreck in front. There was a crash in front, and that was Larry McDonald that hit the wall on the high side. He got a tag on the driver's door panel. So the number 80, there you go. There's the touch, bang. The second impact, and then right front hits the wall, damages the steering and suspension. And then McClendon just spun on his own there, I think, just in the background.
Yeah, so it looked like maybe just a little bit of it. You can go back here and take a look here one more time. But it looked like it might have been a little bit of contact between the 5. It was. The 5 kind of gets up into the left rear quarter of McDonald. That's enough to send McDonald around. He's up into the fence. There we go. McClendon actually got a tag on the left rear, so that sent him hitting the barriers, and that would have damaged the front of the car. A good friend of yours is in YouTube chat, Brandon Broadfoot, aka B Square 2023 in YouTube. Hey, Brandon.
Says, what's up, Chris Murphy?
Good to see you,
big shout out to Mark Person 77 saying, "Sup boys, thanks for broadcasting." Thank you very much, Mark. It's a real pleasure to be with you. We're under our first caution for the 2026 Hangover 250 live on the Digital Racing Sports Network with Chris Murphy and Alex Goldschmidt. I had to watch myself there again, Chris, for the second time in a row. Damn, these surnames are confusing the heck out of me tonight.
usually that's what I got you here for, because I'm usually the one that's stumbling. You're usually the one that's carrying me on that stuff. So it's good to see that it's not always me. So, but yeah, definitely fun here tonight, or today actually. I guess maybe it's tonight where you are. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, right?
Yeah, 20 past 9 at night here in the east of England, just about 60 miles north of the capital city of London. But this caution has given a great opportunity for everyone to take a pit stop now.
Let's take a look at our pit times here. We got some cool graphics. Stephen Miles and Matt Metler, fuel only. So, well, that's not a surprise. I mean, the thing is that will probably be when we get to the halfway point at about 50 laps. That'll probably be the next pit stop is probably when I would say that drivers will take tyres here, Chris. I agree. Yeah, you could actually run at least half of this race, if not longer, without taking any tires. We're going to take our lap leaders here, too. We've had 6 different leaders of this race. Stephen Miles leading the most with Andrew Pileski, 6 each. Richard Elliott there. Cody Neagles got in there, led a couple of laps. Joey Maskowicz and Quinton Steinbrook also had led a lap here today. And we'll take a look also at the, we call this our wrench wranglers here, if it pops up right here. So Larry McReynolds in the pits for 51 seconds. Vondell getting some repairs as well. So, yeah, happy to be here with you today, Alex. You know, we cover a lot of races together. We've been doing, man, we've been everywhere here now. I think it's our first super speedway together, but we've been doing
Yeah.
GT4, GT3, some sprint car races here and there, some endurance races. Is there anything we haven't done here lately?
Single seaters.
Oh, we got okay. Anybody out there with a single seat looking for some coverage? Uh, Reach out and let us know. But hey, I see Brandon and Mark in there. I heard you call them out earlier. Thanks, guys, for reaching out. If you give us a like and subscribe out there, we're getting this channel built up. We do a lot of work for some other networks as well, but we're trying to get this DRSN built up as well. So, but we're 15. What are we? 18 laps into this 100-lap race. Miles with a good stop. He's out in front. Look at John Ward. John Ward hasn't been up front all day long, but he made a good stop. He's right there in second, Alex.
I think it's as we were talking at the top of the show, just picking your moments and hoping that it, lady luck shines your way. Yes, of course, racing does need preparation, having the right skill set, having the right strategy. Reacting on the fly is another big thing, but then also having lady luck on your side is not a bad thing at all, and that's what we're seeing with a few drivers. Biggest movers at the moment. Logan Helton started 30th, now 14th, up 16 places. Bradley Stefan in the number 89 Camry. He's made up 17 positions, now rounds out the top 10. Matthew Baker up 10 spots, now runs P7. And then John Ward, who started 15th, runs in the 92 Ford, second overall. But again, it is that case of, and this is not a commentator's curse, folks, this is fate of circumstance. We always know, Chris, that cautions do breed cautions.
They do. And, we were admiring their 77 of Steven Scott earlier. We speculated that may be a JW Paints livery, and it definitely is. James reached out to me earlier to let me know that is a JW Paint. So if you're looking for a good paint job for any of your rides out there, reach out to JW Paints, and there's a good example of it right there. We're going to come off of turn number 4 here.
Yeah, lights are out on the pace truck as we're ready to go back into action for our resumption of the Hangover 250 live here on the Digital Racing Sports Network. Pace truck into pit road, and it is going to be the pair of Miles and Ward that are going to bring us back to green as they now will head through the Geico acceleration zone here at the World Centre of Racing. We are back to green flag as now it's pedal to the metal, heading down into turn number 1. It's nip and tuck between Miles and Ward as they go in towards turn 1. Steinbach to the outside of Maskovitz as they head through into 1 and then into 2. 31-degree angle banking, and it looks like Maskovitz has shoved his way up into P2. Behind John Ward is giving the 92 Ford. It is Mark mate, if you will, because it's Ford leading ahead of Chevy. Ford, 2 Toyotas in the form of Steinbach and Prince. Neagle's now back up into P4, takes the high side, does the Heat 1 winner, and it's 3 wide, and that is Steinbach dropping like a stone. We see that again.
Yeah,
you get stuck in the middle. You are like a passenger. You are going nowhere but backwards.
Yeah, you get stuck in that middle of the racetrack with no help at all, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And we can see the 64 and the 92. They see that outside line coming. They jump up in front of the 33 of Prince. Prince getting a good shove from the 24 Miles up there on the outside of the racetrack. But here comes the 64. He is trying to shove John Ward away from this group. Probably not going to work out very well. They're not going to get away from him, but at least keep him out in front. But here comes that 77. We were just admiring the paint job on that 77 of Steven Scott. He is getting a push from the 89 of Bradley Stefani. Stefani, our big mover of the race, started back in 27th, now up to 4th, up 23 spots in this race. And I got a guy, somebody in chat asked us what cars, either the Gen 6 or GB36.
Yeah, so I think at the end of it, it's just once again just showcasing how close this field really, really is. It's not going to be easy over the next what is it, 78 laps we've got left to go here, Chris. So it's just fly by the seat of your pants and just hope to the man above that things are going to work your way.
Yeah, you got to pray a little bit and and find your friend out there on the racetrack. And I don't know anybody, a little bit of contact there from the Falkenham kind of gets a little bit of the 89. That gets him a little bit loose. Stefani able to save it. But you could see what happened. You see Falkenham realized that the 89 was going to get loose. He backed off the throttle, gave him some room to get straightened out, and that's exactly what you got to do here. You know, if you're one of these guys, you're getting up on somebody, you make a little bit of a mistake, and you get into him a little bit too hard. If you can just back off and let him straighten out, a lot of times you can save the car.
Yeah, and it can also be the case of, you know, just making the moves when you need to. But look, there's a bit of a big old wobble there from the 24. There's Stephen Scott to the inside. This is going to be a little bit, you know, something's going to be puckering up round about now. If you're going 3 wide down the back stretch, you don't want to be piggy in the middle, that's for sure.
Not at all. We look at the double zero Barksdale. Kind of got in the wall there, but saved it. We've seen some pretty good saves already. I think they've tried to crash about a dozen times here, but we've only had 1 caution so far. But John Ward doing a good job leading this pack. He's got the 64 Meskowitz right there behind him. Prince now is tucked up in there. And Steinbeck, we have seen Steinbeck up here in the front all day long. Well, I guess all day long. We're about a quarter way through the race right now. But he's doing a good job staying up there with that top pack. And, you know, McClendon, look at McClendon now up to 8th. He was involved in that earlier caution in the double zero, spun out on the bottom of the racetrack. But look at the bottom coming. Here comes Falkenham on the bottom. He's got help from looks like the 5 of Matthew Baker. John Ward tried to get down and cut it off, but he was a little bit slow to the draw. And here comes Falkenham to the lead with the 5 of Baker behind him, and also Cody Neagle. So that bottom line is really strong right now.
Yeah, it is rather strong, and we've seen it switch between the high and the low side at times here, Chris. So you can't always hedge your bets on one particular attack strategy. You've got to look at how you can mediate that all the way through the remainder of the race, and it's just about keeping a cool head on calm shoulders. That's all you need to do. But these drivers, you know, they're getting all the force feedback through that direct drive on the steering wheel, and it is that case of just finding how the car is reacting to you.
Yeah, we take a look here in car right now with Justin Prince. Oh, a little bit of contact here on the bottom. It looks like we're going to get back to the right camera, but I saw Neagles down on the bottom. Oh, we got cars stuck in a pit here.
Helton, Falking, and Baker, Neagles, Jones, and Merck all into pit lane at the same time. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they pitted. I guess maybe they didn't pit on. They pitted on that first stop. So we're going to get our first green flag stops here. I just kind of saw we were in the car there with that. I kind of just saw the cars diving down off the bottom of the left hand of the side of the racetrack. I thought we had a kind of an incident, but no, it's going to be our first green flag stops. Ward out in front, but you can kind of see maybe who that group is that are going to work together. Falkenham, Baker, Neagles, Jones, and Merck all came down the pit road together, so let's see what they can do once they get back on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Here comes the leaders.
Yeah, that's going to be rather interesting. And now they all dive in. I think John Ward was a little bit hard on the brakes. The front tyres locking up a little bit. But we're coming across to, we are on lap 27 out of 100. And Stephen Miles in the Laser Racing number 28 holds the lead. Quinton Steinbach, Justin Prince, Tucker McClendon has made a bit of a resurgence here. He's up 21 spots now, rounds out your overall top 4. 5th place is Stephen Scott Jr. in that wonderful Jigsaw Puzzle 77 livery. The chrome numbers really shining in the Daytona sun here in Florida. But you could just see that Quinton Steinbach, the car's looking a little bit loose as he's trying to see where he can pick his spot to fire it around either the outside or the inside, as we see the likes of John Ward et al. Come back out onto the circuit. And they're all the way down in John Ward, that's 22nd. He's got Joe Mashkovitz, and then I think is that Corey Cheney behind them as well. And look, they're being caught up by a lot of the drivers. There's Falkingham, and look at the rate of speed they've got. And that includes the 63 of Logan Helton, whose front end was completely rearranged during Heat 2 when we had a big caution with about 4 laps to go.
And it looks like Ward and Maskovich are going to be able to... Are they going to be able to hold on to this draft or not? They kind of slid up there. They might get sucked back up in there, but the 64 and the 90 trying to get teamed back up, see if they can catch up. It looks like they're going to be close enough to be able to suck up in the draft to the back of the 30 of Dylan Jones. Kind of wanted to see how this cycled out as we get back up here to the front of the racetrack, as Miles and Steinbeck now run 1-2. Justin Prince in that 3rd spot, yet to pit here on lap 28. We're running lap 29 of 100 right now, and it is Miles and Steinbeck.
again, Stephen Miles really has been the talk of this race. To be honest with you here, Chris, he's just he's done exactly what we saw with Cody Neagles in the opening heat of the event itself. So Stephen Miles doing a really, really good job so far.
Yeah, doing a fantastic. He's been up there all day long, either pushing or leading this race. Miles, our overall lap leader right now in the 24, doing a fantastic job. Let's see how long they're going to stay out here. We'll see how the strategy plays out. We have most of this, the other top runners in the back, all pitted back on lap 25. We're now starting running lap number 30. Let's see when these drivers decide when to pit. So a little different strategy playing out. Hopefully those guys in the back don't get caught with a caution, but they did not lose a lap here. So let's see what the plan is here. I don't have the driver's audio on in my ear, so I'm not really listening, but Miles doing a good job. Let's take a look back here at this second group, see where they are on the racetrack. It looks like they are coming across the start-finish line where our lead pack comes off at turn number 4. We're going to keep an eye on the intervals here and see if they're making up any time.
Yeah, I think it's when we get to the next, phases. I think Todd Merkel has done 2 pit stops, came in for just under 5 seconds, not including the transfer time. It's quite a short pit road here at Daytona, so you're able to get out onto the track pretty quickly, but then you've got your entry point onto the circuit will be out of turn 2 to rejoin the racetrack. But I think it's just the pace that we're seeing. Looking at the lap times, everyone in the top 8 to make that the top 9, all the way down to Matt Mettler in the number 15 car that started 60. They are running anywhere between low 45.2 to a high 45.2, so the pace is quite equal between them. And at this point, you're not going to go out for a flat-out lap like we saw Jeff Merck doing a 43.990 earlier on in the first 5 laps of the race. It is the case now of how far do you want to push that envelope? How far do you want to push that fuel window? Because it's not going to be easy. You've got to think, okay, what's he done? What's he done? And look at your opposition and think, okay, how can I play this? How can I parlay this strategy into the best opportunity for me?
Yeah, we're looking at Kevin Allen running the 21st spot. We got a 21-car train up here in front of this race right now. They're all single filed out. Everybody kind of settled down here a little bit, going to settle into this race. We're about 32 laps into this 100-lap show. First 21 cars all kind of line up. And then we go back to the second group here of Helton, Falkenham, Baker, Neagles, Jones, all trying to reel in that top group. But they have pitted her early, so let's see. This short pit right here may come into play here. When that lead pack starts pitting, how much of an advantage are these guys going to have? If we stay under green when that top leaders start pitting, are these guys going to be 2 or 3 seconds out to an advantage? We're going to see how that plays out here because they've been now pitted about 7 or 8 laps ago, but we're still waiting for the leaders to come in.
Yeah, and I think with regards to it, it's about with the slipstream that we see and everything like that. It's a case of how much fuel mileage can you save. Those additional litres. Like it might be 0.25 of a litre on 1 lap, and you do it the same for if it can give you an extra 1 or 2 laps in the pecking order, and being able to provide yourself with the best opportunity possible on those green flag pit stops, that's where it's going to count the most. But if we get a caution, then straight away that's a de facto free pit stop as long as pit road is not closed.
Yeah, we've got 2 different groups on the racetrack. Actually, 3 groups. I look back here to this little 3-car pack way back there in the back. It's Barksdale, Merck, and Cheney. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened to Merck, if he got a black flag in the pits or something, but unfortunately, we saw him work his way up to the lead in this race at one point. He's now fallen way off the draft back here in 30th. These 3 cars back here in the back are just really hoping for a caution. Barksdale, another driver we saw up close to the front, too. I think they tried to pit about a lap after. Actually, they tried to pit with Falkenham in that group that came in with Baker as well. And Neagles, and I think they just didn't get out of the pit near as well, or they made a little bit different adjustment, but unfortunately those 2 guys way off the pace now.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of this race to go, Chris. There's still plenty of mileage left. And I think, you can't, you might say, oh, damn, I'm in 20th spot at the moment. Well, maybe, can I do something that's going to help me out? And you've got to keep your cards close to your chest. It's more the case of how can you make a positive out of a difficult situation, and that's what some of the drivers are needing to do here.
Yeah, but you see this group is actually closing up on that little 3-car pack we were looking at as they come off the tri-oval. Those 3 cars that bear in the back are just now heading through 1 and 2. So they're threatening to go down a lap here real soon, but I'm looking again one more time. And that second pack back here being led by Helton, Falcon, and Eagles right now, or actually Baker and Eagles, they're actually making up some ground as these leaders are. It looks like we're going to start getting some pit stops here. They're shaking around, coming off a 2 down the back straightaway. They were pretty organized, but it looks like they're going to get a little 2x2 here. That's going to slow this group down just a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, I think it's when you know that, you know, if the tyres start falling off of the proverbial cliff here, Chris, that can be a bit of a sad ending for a lot of people when they go, oh, well, that was not part of the plan. You know, you go in there with the best intentions, and sometimes there's something that just ruins your race for no apparent reason. Maybe if it's an unforced error, or whether you've ended up being piggy in the middle and you get one car to the outside, one car to the inside, and then all of a sudden you're finding yourself slipping backwards very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, you know, and what I've seen racing a lot of super speedway over the last week. Sometimes what happens is you forget to change your pit settings. You want to come down, take fuel only, and you accidentally leave the 4 tires on, and that leaves you hanging because now you're sitting in the pits for an extra few seconds over that guy that just took fuel and is leaving you behind.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're just like thinking, man, I should have gotten off my tracks quicker than that. And it does happen. It does happen. We're all human. We're not, we're not infallible. But it's more the case of who can make the best of it, and that is what is going to be crucial on who is going to win the Hangover 250 here at Daytona. We're on lap 38 out of 100, live here on the Digital Racing Sports Network with Chris Murphy and Alex Goldschmidt. Big thank you once again to High Gear Racing and JW Pates for their opportunity. Coming up on the DRSN, we've got the Aces SimSport 360 Winter Sprint Series returning at USA International Speedway on January 7th. So more action still to come. If you have got a league out there, we can cover a multitude of series, whether it's sports cars, single seaters, dirt track, super speedways, oval racing, you name it, we'll cover it. So why not give us a like, share and subscribe, and maybe get in touch if you want us to give you a fantastic broadcast for your league.
Yeah, take a look here at Matthew Baker. I've been watching the times on this second group back here. They were about 30 seconds back when they came out of the pits. They've cut 5 seconds out of that gap. So they're down to 25-second gap right now. That is going to be huge. When that lead group comes in and pulls down into the pits, this group, I believe, is going to have about a 4 or 5 second gap out to them. So we're going to see how this plays out, because I got to be expecting to see our lead group hit it back on lap 17. We were guessing, or we were told it before the race started, that our green flag windows at the most would be about lap 32 to 34. So we're going to see how far that lead group stretches this out.
Yeah, and we've already passed that first window as well. So we're probably looking at around about, give or take, lap 64 possibly. So that's going to be a lot of mileage. That's going to be about 55 miles, effectively, depending on when they decided to jump into pit road. But of course, it is that case that you just have to look at what we've got. It's single file, line astern. No one's playing their hand yet, and that is the big crucial point. You want to leave a little bit in the tank. You want to leave a little bit in reserve, as we see the recovering Tucker McLennan, who we saw having a little bit of argy-bargy earlier on. He's now in 21 positions in the 00 Ford, the Ford Mustang. And he's closing in on Quinton Steinbach in the Toyota Camry, who's still holding on to that third spot behind fellow Toyota driver Justin Prince, but it's Chevy leading the way with Stephen Miles in the 28. Laser Racing, Chevy Camaro, doing a sterling job just placing the car exactly where he needs to. And that is very, very important. We've seen that quite a lot over the heats, and now in this race we are getting a textbook showcase by Laser Racing's Stephen Miles.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, I'm looking at that little 3-car group we checked out earlier with Barstow, Merck, and Cheney, and they're actually holding their gap up to this big group right there behind them. So they hit it early, just kind of out there, and they're staying well organized. That's the big thing right there. You know, if we go back and look at that second group as well, these 6-7 cars here have not got out of line, and that's what you've got to do in this situation. They're now down to 22-second gap to the leader, so they are really making up some ground. They're staying organized. They got a good, looks like Helton looks like to be the best one to be out in front of this right now with Falkenham pushing them, and it's really working well for this group, and they are making up a lot of time.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing when you're in the chasing pack. It is a case of, okay, guys, it's foot on the floor. Let's just go. Let's just motor on. We've got to catch up to them, and that can be the biggest difference between missing out on a top 10 finish, or maybe even if you think that you've got that strategy that's going to help you to the W and get you onto victory lane here at the Hangover 250. Well, you try and play all the cards that you're dealt.
I take a look here at the 15 of Matt Metler. Started in the 16th spot, running 13th right now, trying to work his way back up here. Bradley Stefani, still one of our biggest movers, started back in 27th. And that 89 up to 7th. He's looking at the outside of the 2 of Merkel, going to tuck back in behind. We got some cars side by side here in the front now. Prince looks like he's going to lose the draft. He got stuck up on the outside. He is going to fall back here. So Prince now working his way back up on the outside. But that's going to put Quentin Steinbreck back up in a second. And look right there in third is that 00 Tucker McClendon, now up 22 spots in this race, Alex, now all the way up to third.
Yeah, it's really proving to be the case of how can you manage this race. Where do you need to put the car? And you can see that Steinbach is bump drafting Miles. McClendon's there. Scott is there. Merkel, Stefan, Hennings, Paleschke, Lewis and Caldwell. They round out your overall top 10. They are covered by just under 9/10 of a second. We're about to cross the line to start lap 45 out of 100. We are 6 laps until we hit the halfway point of what has been a fantastic battle so far around the World Centre of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway, here at this 2.5 mile tri-oval as they head through the banking once again onto the back stretch. Miles is comfortable where he's sitting at the moment, but Steinbrock starting to use a little bit of pressure. McClendon is there, and look at Stephen Scott. He is there in the 77. He is waiting for his opportunity. No one opting to go for the high side at the moment. Everyone seems to be quite comfortable staying in this low groove here at the 31-degree banking, Chris. And it's just showcasing now. McClendon nearly went to the high side there inadvertently, drops quickly back down in front of Stephen Scott and stays behind Quinton Steinbach.
Yeah, staying organized up here in the front. A little bit of shaking around here a little bit, and that's actually allowing that second group down to cut that gap down to 19 seconds now. Still making up some ground. 7 cars here just teamed up really well, but they did pit on lap 25. A little bit different strategy. I don't know if maybe I missed, they didn't. No, they did pit earlier as well, so a little different strategy with this group, but they seem to be working really, really well together. Miles now just happy to be out in front. That's the best place you can be here at the Super Speedway, is out in front. As long as you got somebody behind you can trust, it doesn't get kind of off squared on the bumper and give you a bump at the wrong time. But Steinberg doing a good job of pushing as he has this entire race. We've still got about 20, looks like about 20 cars left in this lead draft, down to Kevin Allen. And looks like Matt Meltler, we might have lost Meltler out of this race for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there.
Possible disconnect maybe.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
But I am noticing that gap between the 20 car lead train and Logan Helton in the 63. That gap, you did say it was at 20. It was 30 seconds. It went down to 25. They have now nearly taken 14 seconds out of it. It's 16.3 and closing. So Logan Helton, Falkingham, Baker, Neagles, Jones, Ward, Mashkovitz, they are all at full throttle, and they are... Oi! That was nearly a bit of a squeeze there for the 5 of Baker. He went into the back of Falkingham, who tagged the back of Helton, whilst bump drafting. That could have unsettled them very, very badly. The gap now, 15 seconds and closing between Kevin Allen in the number 76 and Logan Helton, who is leading this... this septet of cars, 7 cars in all, and they are closing fast.
They are coming in a hurry, so that if they make up this much ground, what we predict here, probably within the next 3 or 4 laps, we're going to see this lead pack pit, and that second group's almost making up the extra pit stop at this point. Not quite, but they're putting on a heck of an effort at it. But Miles now, yeah. I think we're gonna see stops here within the next 3 laps.
Okay, just to give you an insight here, Helton Falkingham, Baker, Neagles, Jones, Ward, and Maskovitz. They are all running 44.7s. And Logan Helton on lap 47 took out 1.6 seconds out of Kevin Allen. That gap now is 14.3 and closing. We are nearly 50% of the way through lap number 49, so say about 4 miles to go until we hit the halfway point of the Hangover 250 here from Daytona International Speedway. The live coverage courtesy of us here at the Digital Racing Sports Network. Chris Murphy and Alex Goldschmidt with you all the way through, right up until the checkered flag. There is prize money up for grabs, and at the moment Stephen Miles brings us on to the lap that's going to take us to 125 miles. They head through into turn 1, onto the 31-degree angled banking, through 1, through into 2, and then it's a flat-out drag race down the back straightaway. And look, Steinbach is keeping himself stapled to the rear bumper of Miles. The Chevy leading the Toyota. Tucker McClendon in the Ford Mustang now rounds out your overall top 3. Then it's Chevy, Ford and Toyota. 2 representatives of each mark in the top 6. And this is where it's going to get crucial. After this halfway point of the race for the Hangover 250, we come through the Geico acceleration zone, and it will be Stephen Miles that leads us on to the second half of the Hangover 250, live here from Daytona, as he still comfortably leads. He's got the most laps of lead under his belt so far here, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. We'll take a look at it. Let's take a look at our lap leaders here real quick as you bring that up. And there's Stephen Miles, so 33 laps out of this 50 lap we completed now. Andrew Pileski has also led a lap. John Ward, Richard Elliott, Cody Neagles, Quentin Steinbach, Falkenham, and Masters all led laps here in this race. But right now it's been Miles out front all day long. But, you know, it's not who's leading right now at the half. Oh, and Miles going to go down to the bottom. He is going to get left down on the bottom of the racetrack. Steinbach and McClendon going to go to the top. Is Miles going to pit here? No, he's not. He's trying to stay on the racetrack. But the 22 and the 00 with a nice setup there. I mean, they move to the outside. That knocks Miles back a couple of spots. Scott now coming up to third. He has got the 89 of Stefani coming up with him as well. So a little bit of a shake-up here. I think we're going to see pit stop. I know it's going to be the next few. Oh, a little wiggle right there for Miles. Gets down on the apron. Nice job of saving it. That is tough when you get down on the bottom like that. Of that transition, getting back up onto the racetrack and not losing it. Nice save there from Stephen Miles. Oh, contact. The 89 of Stefani thought he was clear. He comes down and catches that right front fender of Miles. But again, we are seeing some tremendous driving out here. As that was a crash right there for sure. That was a nice save there from both Miles and Stefani.
Yeah, it could have ended up in a bit of a big old wreck, but it is the case now that still Stephen Miles is hanging on. I think he's possibly trying to hypermile a little bit. So what I mean by that, folks, is saving as much fuel. He'll probably have fumes going into pit road very, very shortly when he does come in to that pit lane. But it is a case now we've got to that halfway point. We've had 1 caution so far, and everyone has been very, very well behaved. But it is Quentin Steinbach in the 22 Toyota Camry that leads Tucker McClendon in the 00 Mustang. And then you've got the Chevy Camaro, the number 77 of Stephen Scott Jr. in that wonderful JW paint livery. The jigsaw puzzle combined with the wonderful chrome numbers on both the roof and both door panels on that car. You've also got Bradley Stefan, who's up 23 spots. Kenneth McCulloch Jr. now up 26 spots, rounds out your overall top 5. And he's got Christopher E. Carter in the number 25 Chevy right behind him. He's also made up 12 spots. So a lot of juxtaposing here. Stephen Miles now currently rounding out the top 7 as the top 6 starting to get a little bit of a breakaway. And look at the run that Stephen Scott Jr. has got going down the backstretch into turn 3.
Yeah, great run from McCullough up, like you said, up 26 spots in the 03. Kenneth with a good run. He's going to look to the outside of the 89 of Stefan. And here comes the 25. Going to see if he can give him a little bit of a push. So we're getting some shake up here in the front. And we look back to that back pack. We've been talking about that. That gap now is down to about 6.5 seconds. They're actually on the same straightaway. They can probably see that lead group up in front of them now. So this group, if you want to learn how to organize a group to catch up to a field, this is textbook right here from this group of 7 cars. They are catching that lead pack. And they're running laps about a second to a second and a half faster than the leaders right now.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very crucial how the next few laps, as in 45 laps, that's a lot of mileage when you think about it. That's quite a lot to think about when these drivers are, that's 115 miles effectively, so the drivers are really going to have to watch their P's and Q's, but it is that case of when do drivers dive into pit lane? And Stephen Miles is still staying out. I think he knows that he's got quite a lot of opportunity. If he just sticks with them, and this could play to his pit stop strategy here, more to the point that he's got that chance, that window of keeping that car on the circuit. If he can keep with the leaders, it will still keep him in the hunt for the W here tonight.
Yeah, that's the key, is just trying to stay in that lead group. Trying to pull up some driver cams here. Actually, somebody shared their cam with us, but I'm not even sure who that is. So I got to figure that out. But right now, it's Steinbrück and McClendon out in front of this field, like you said. And it's these guys have worked really well together this whole race, but are they going to work together at the end of it? We're over halfway through. It's been now 40 laps since they pitted, so that little estimation I was given earlier of 32 to 34, not holding much water at the moment because these guys are stretching it out.
I think that's the thing with these kind of races. I'm going to provide an IndyCar reference. If anyone might remember when Alexander Rossi won the Indianapolis 500, and he had Brian Herter as his crew chief at Andretti Autosport, the amount of mileage that Alex Rossi had to save that year to then pick up the Borg Warner Trophy was an absolute strategy call that no one saw coming. And you can apply that to the sim racing world. You've got to think of, okay, how marginal. Right, Stephen Miles has pitted. Miles has pitted.
By himself.
It was, yeah. So I think Stephen Miles, so that is going to put him, that's, so if he puts a new set of tyres on that car, fills up the gas tank, then that's going to be the case of, is he going to be able to run to the checkered on that? 14.8 seconds on his stall in the pit lane. Is that the possibility that Stephen Miles, I'm looking at it this way, either he'll have enough, as there's more drivers, Steinbach in, McClendon, Donald in, Allen in. So they're all starting to come in, and I think probably we could see towards the end of the race here, Chris, maybe the old splash and dash situation.
Yeah, definitely, because it's just like we're about 41, 42 laps. Might be able to make it to the end. It's going to be tight. But Miles, and I think that maybe what this earlier group did that, they saw that opportunity to come in. They've got to pit one more time. They think everybody's going to have to pit as well. But unfortunate for Miles, been leading this race. He came down on the pit road by himself. He has no help out there on the racetrack right now. As a matter of fact, this lead group is running him down, but they're all going to come into the pits. Here comes a bunch more cars down to the pits. We see Scott, Stefan, Carter, and McCullough all coming. Oh, Scott just about loses it right there, saves it. Hopefully that wasn't going to be a black flag for him. We'll see how that works out, but let's see how this works out for Miles. There was some cars that pitted on the lap right after him, but is he going to be able to blend in with him or not? So that may, without a caution, I hate to say it too early in the race, but that may have really cost Stephen Miles. As you can see him almost going a lap down here.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, Logan Helton in the 63, keep an eye on him at the moment because he's coming in close to Mark Vondel in the number 59 car. So Kenneth McCullough now our new race leader, started 31st on the grid and is now running as the official race leader. Here comes Logan Helton with a big head of steam round the outside of the 76, and straight away that just shows how much pace he, Falkingham, Baker, Neagles, Jones, Ward and Maskovitz have been playing with. They've been running at about 180, 190 miles an hour for the majority of this phase of the race, and this is now bringing them all into contention. And when you think about it, they pitted on lap 25, so they've only done what is it, we're on lap 61 now, so that's effectively 36 laps.
Yeah, so we're seeing some shakes up right here. You can see the 22 and the 00 here were leading when they came into the pits. Now leader's coming up right there behind him. They're going to have to come down and pit as well, so it looks like this is going to shake out to where when these pit stops are over, Helton and Falkenham are going to be our leaders here once Gillespie, Lewis, and Caldwell and Call all drive down into the pits. We're going to see how this shakes out with different pit strategies going on here at Daytona. And I did get one thing. Had a couple drivers earlier ask us for some in-car cams. We actually did have somebody share a cam with it, but unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm not sure who it is. But you can see, you just look at the level of concentration right there, Alex, it takes to run these cars at Daytona.
And you can see the amount of input on the steering wheel. Of course, the steering wheel will be biased to turn to the left-hand side, but based on the nature of super speedway racing. But it's finite adjustment. You're constantly, you're seeing now that the center line on the steering wheel is straight, and that's coming down the back stretch. What you don't want to have is too much problems with regards to your steering. And I think he was just trying to grab a little bit of hydration there, possibly, or trying. No, there's a mouse pad. You can see there's a chest of drawers on the right-hand side. It is one hand on the wheel, one hand on the mouse. Yeah. Drive it like you stole it, sunshine.
If anybody out there in the YouTube world knows who our driver is right there, I'd like to give a thanks. I'm not sure who that is right there, but they did show the camera with us. I really appreciate that. So as we get back to racing here, you can see Falkenham, Helton leading us right. They're going to come down to pit here. All right, so we saw that different strategy. They pitted on lap 25. The rest of the field's pitted. They're now going to come down to pit for their actually a third stop for most of these drivers. So let's see how this shakes out. We're estimating potentially everybody's got to make one more stop. Let's see how that works out for that 7. Falkenham, Niegels, Matthews, Ward, Baker, Jones, Helton, all pitting together. Those 7 drivers really working well. So it looks like this is going to be our leaders as it cycles through as Barksdale, Merck, and Cheney now, that little 3-car group we were talking about.
Mike Davenport in YouTube chat, that's, I think he said that's Matthew Baker.
It's Matthew Baker.
So,
thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike Davenport. So appreciate that. Shout out to you on the YouTube. But yeah, I think it's just a case of how can you make this race work? Jeff Merck has now dived into pit lane. Justin Lewis has been on his marks for quite a long old time, and that car has got damage. So unfortunately, he's going to be on the receiving end of a difficult last third of this race. We're on lap 64 out of 100, and Michael Barksdale leads the way. He's ahead of Corey Cheney and Logan Helton, and now Barksdale, Cheney, they dive into pit road. So this is going to bring Helton, Falkingham. Now looking at Stephen Miles, he's up to P19 at the moment, and he's going to be in that pack. So this now means that Stephen Miles still has an opportunity as Corey Cheney and Michael Barksdale drop down to 22nd and 21st respectively. So this is now going to be a 35 lap sprint to the checkered here at the Hangover 250. And look at this. Joshua McCulloch in the 05 Mustang looking to the outside of Logan Helton in the 63 Camaro. He's got the race lead, but look at the draft that Logan Helton's got to the inside. Falkingham's in P2. Matthew Baker is there in the number 5. So it's a Chevy top 3, top place Mustang. Dylan C. Jones in 4th, top Toyota Austin Cole rounding out your overall top 10.
Yeah, and that 7-car pack that we saw actually has taken an extra pit stop over some of this group, and they've actually made their way to the front. So I'm not going to question their strategy. They seem to know a hell of a lot better than I do, but it's Helton, Falkingham, Baker, Jones, part of that 7-car pack that was working together earlier. They are now running in the top 4, and they've all blended together. So we had 2 groups separated in long single-line files. And a matter of fact, just about most of the pack now all together in this lead draft. And good, little bit of luck there from Stephen Miles. He pitted by himself, but he was able to blend back in here to this field, finds himself in 15th, but most importantly, he finds himself still in the lead draft.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I think the way that he probably thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to run on my own, run a little bit solo, so to speak, and that's, sometimes that can help you, sometimes that can hinder you, but at the moment, it's helping him. So he's positioning himself in the right place to hopefully, roll lucky number 7. And that's what he's going to need right now, because at this point, anything's possible. And now he's up to 15th. And when this battle at the front end of the field really starts, like it's down in the bottom of the 9th, there's Matthew Baker, bottom right corner of your screens, folks.
Right there in second.
Yeah, in second position, right behind Logan Helton. So this is going to be the crucial time. How can you position your car to the best of your ability and be there at the right place, right time? Because we could have, the way things are standing, a potential photo finish on our hands. This race has been so close to call. We've only had one caution, and that was on lap 15. We've had 53 laps of green flag running. Very shortly, we're going to make that 54 when we head on to lap 69 out of 100, and then it will be 32 laps until the checkered. I can't call this one as to who's going to take top honours, but at the moment, Logan Helton, with the speed that he brought with him, along with Falkingham, Neagles running at the top 10. Stephen Miles is running in 15th behind Joey Allen. So, and it has been the fact that Logan Helton, who started, let's not forget, on the 30th spot on the grid, rounding out row 15. He is leading. So it just goes to show with how compact the field is, between 1st to 18th, it is 1.5 seconds, and then there's a 6-second gap from Joshua McCullough in the 05 Mustang to the 89 Camaro of Bradley Stefan, who's made up 8 spots. At some point, he was at the sharp end of the field as we ride on board with Richard Elliott in the Skidmarks Motorsport number 02, and he's running 9th. And look at that on the back of the 03 of McCullough.
Hell yeah, Georgia.
Hell yeah. And then it's got Georgia right underneath it.
Well, this is the view everybody wants to see right here. This is the view from the front bumper of Logan Helton. Out in front, nobody in front of him right there. Just nice, clean air. I just like to use that camera, so that's a good view. So we take a look back here at McCullough as well in the 03. Kenneth McCullough working his way up through the field back in 30. He's made his way up 24 spots right now. So, you know, the one thing right now, we've got, 18 cars in this lead draft right now. If this stays green for the next 30 laps, Alex, it's up to any one of these 18 can win this race. But, you know, it's, if we're going to, we got to have at least one more yellow flag. Like you said, the only caution we've had was way back on lap 15. We've seen some great racing. I hope we go green. The rest of the way. It's going to make for a fantastic finish.
Well, folks, buckle up your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride, so grab your popcorn, beverage of choice, and stick with us here on the Digital Racing Sports Network for live coverage of the Hangover 250 at Daytona for 2026. And look to the low side. That's Christopher Carter. He now takes the lead from Logan Helton, but it's now there I see the lesser spotted Cold Trickle tribute band, Brian Hennings in the 74. City Chevrolet there. He's doing a really, really good job. He's got himself back up into 4th place. He's on the high side, so he can use the run being behind Baker and Helton to try and see if he can claw his way through into this. And good to see that we've got nearly 30 people watching on DRSN at the moment. So thank you very much for everyone that's joined us. Big thank you also to JW Paints, as well, along with all the other people that have got us on board for this one. Don't forget that the Aces Up SimSport Winter Series will return. The 360 Winter Series returns on January 7th at USA International Speedway, and they'll be going around it like a whirling dervish. But again, just so close. Carter now retakes the lead. Then it switches back to Helton. You cannot call this as Cody Neagles from Nightmare Esports back in the saddle. And he is now running P7. He's on the low side of the circuit. So Neagles, he's had a very, very much a topsy-turvy feature race here at Daytona here, Chris. But he's got himself back into it. And look at the back of the train. I spy with my little eye Messrs Miles and McClendon. They are not out of this.
Well, they've worked their way back to the back of this field. McClendon in the 00, Miles right there in front. They led quite a few laps, but they've got a tough road to hoe. You know, they were able to lead a bunch of laps when that little 7-car pack pitted early. Let's see if they can work their way back up to the front, but I think getting through this field is not going to be any easy task from anybody outside of the top 15 right now, as we find Carter now making his way to the lead. Carter down on the bottom. He's got a big push from Falkingham. Helton up on the outside. He's got the 5 of Matthew Baker trying to give him a push, and the 74 of Hennings. So let's see if they come across the stripe one more time. It was Helton leading that lap right there, but watch that bottom line. Falkingham with a good push on Carter. That's going to push him towards the lead here going into turn number 1.
21st and 17th covered by just over 1.1 seconds. And it is nip and tuck. It's Noah's Ark style between Helton and Carter at the sharp end of the field. But Helton gets the drag. He's getting the assist from behind. The little bit of pushing he needs from the likes of Baker. That's going to help Brian Hennings a little bit here in the number 74 Chevrolet Camaro as they come through the banking. Look at that camera shot there. Wonderful to see how low to the how low the banking they go. Jeff Merck is quite a way back off of this battle. He's about 33 seconds off of the race leader. So Jeff Merck's opportunity in the number 60 has unfortunately passed him by, but never say never here with 26 laps remaining. We're on lap 74 out of 100. A little bit of a bump from behind on Carter by Falkingham. And that is now going to hang Logan Helton a little bit out to dry. And then that is the number 30 of Dylan C. Jones in the body in white Ford Mustang. He's got Cody Neagles right behind him. And look at this, folks. It's 2 by 2 between the top 6 for the first 3 rows. And Christopher E. Carter gets a little bit of headway, little bit of light at the end of the tunnel early doors as they come through the Geico acceleration zone and across the stripe. It is going to be Logan Helton that's going to lead us on to our 76th lap. 25 to go here at the Hangover 250. Still plenty to play for.
And we got the high-speed drone right here keeping up with the pack at 200 mile an hour. Look at Chris Carter right here working his way back up to the front. Logan Helton with the lead. Look at that's a nice shot ducking down the back straightaway at speed. Helton, Baker, Carter, Hennings, your top 4 right now with Falkenham back there in the 5th spot. We've still got, it looks like 17 cars now in the lead draft as Stefan has dropped off the lead pack. But here comes Carter looking really sharp down there on the bottom of the racetrack. You know, look at that number 30 of Joe Falkenham with a big move to the outside. He is going to get some help from Helton. We're going to have Falkenham to the front as they come across the stripe here. Start lap number 76 here. 24 laps left to go. It is Falkenham to the lead with Helton and Baker, your top 3.
This is really getting rather exciting. Some people might be biting their fingernails to the quick here, Chris, and it definitely won't be you and me here in the commentary box. But more to the point, it has just been an absolutely stellar demonstration of how you can run clean and so competitive. Now, Dylan C. Jones now bump drafting Christopher Carter. He's trying to push him forward a little bit, and that is helping the number 25 Chevy to try and get through to the inside. But it is going to be Falkingham who will lead a lap for the first time in this race with 23 to go until the checkered flag. He leads ahead of Logan Helton, Matthew Baker, Brian Hennings. Hennings now rounds out your top 4. Christopher Carter now to the low side, slingshots past Kenneth McCulloch Jr. and gets through on Brian Hennings. So now Christopher E. Carter really showing his muscle in the 25 Camaro as now we go down the backstretch once again. This is so close, and now they're starting to fan out a little bit. It's now that time where it's time to go full pelt and really just chance it. Carter drops down to 9th. Dylan C. Jones has got Cody Neagles behind him, pushing him along to the low side of the circuit. This is still too close to call. 22 laps remaining here in the Hangover 250, live here from Daytona.
And Dylan Jones down in 30 down on the bottom. He's got Neagles right there behind him. But they don't have a lot of help to catch that outside line. We watched Dylan Jones win a race the other night here on MMS, which was a great run by Dylan Jones. So let's see if he can get back to the front here. But it's Falkingham, Helton, and Baker on that outside. That outside line's a little better organized than the bottom. But as I say that, look at that bottom line coming. Jones with Neagles pushing him right behind the 25 of Carter as well. They are starting to make up some ground. Baker kind of off the 2 leaders there in that 3rd spot. That's not really helping that outside line to see if Baker can get close back up on there and get pushing our top 2 cars here and get back to the front. But here comes Jones. So the bottom as we cross the stripe. 21 laps left to go out of this 100. It is Jones in the 30 to the front. Neagles with a good shove behind. That bottom line is starting to move.
Yeah, it has been that pendulum swing all the way through this motor race here, Chris, as now Dylan Jones goes to the high side of the number 30 Mustang. Neagles, Falkingham, Helton, Baker, Carter, Hennings, then we got McCulloch Jr., Elliott, and Paleschke now back into the top 10. Stephen Miles, I have to say, is biding his time here, Chris, and the reason why is that he is not making any sudden movements. He's waiting for his opportunities. There we see the rear bumper cam from Cody Neagles, and look at all the pebble dashing on the front. Look at all that rubber pickup that's on the front of the Chevy of Daniel Falkingham. That's a great... there we go. Good things come in pink, it says on the front of Daniel Falkingham's car there. A nice little add to the livery.
Yeah, Jones to the front. That's a great shot. I love these different camera angles we can get here. But Jones to the lead, Neagles with a good shove. You saw they come up on the bottom. The first opportunity they had, they moved up to the top in front of Falkenham and Helton. But here comes Jennings. Jennings trying to get to the point. He's got Carter behind him and the two, excuse me, the two also with a push right there as well of Todd Merkel. Unfortunately, he's a lap down right now, but he's up there trying to help out whoever he can get to the front of this race.
Yeah, bless you, by the way. All I'm going to say is this race, once again, just showcases they may not, there are some drivers that won't be, they'll be newer to this form of racing, but when you can have this amount of green flag laps, let's put it this way, lap 15 was when we had the caution. We're now on lap 82 of this race, so that is 67 laps under green, and we've still got, after this, it is going to be 18 to go as Carter pushing Hennings along. Oh no, and Hennings is off. Hennings is off, goes big time off and hits the barriers, and Brian Hennings' run here in the Hangover 250, I think, has come to a premature end after slight contact whilst trying to avoid, I think that was the 22 of Quinton Steinbach. And look at the back end, Brian Hennings with a wounded number 74 Chevy Camaro for VRX Simulators and PGR Esports. His race is, I think, done.
Yeah, unfortunately, they caught up on that lap car of the 22 of Steinbach, and a lot of times you want that lap car to go to the outside, but it looked like Steinbach was going to try to get down into the pits, went down to the bottom, kind of got on the apron, made a little bobble, and I think what happened is Hennings kind of lifted off the throttle to try to, anticipating that Steinbach was going to come up the racetrack, and whoever that was behind him, I didn't see who that was, just kind of got a little bit of a tap, and that sent Hennings down into the bottom of the racetrack. Hard contact with an inside wall. So unfortunate for the 74. Had a good run going here today.
It's a real shame for Brian Hennings, and that car now in pit lane, I'm afraid, as we have got a real race on our hands. Very shortly, it will be 16 laps to go here at the Hangover 250. And look to the low side, it's Kenneth McCulloch Jr., who started on 31st, is in contention. He's up to the inside of Cody Neagles. They are door panel to door panel. Looks like McCulloch slightly behind. And then you see drivers, look at Joe Mashkovitz. He's looking to the outside, coming through into the tri-oval here as they cross the stripe. And that is not going to be an easy task for the number 64 Ford. But look at how far back Stephen Miles is. I know what he's waiting for. He's waiting for a big wreck.
It looks like what he's doing. He's kind of hanging back there. Got about, what are we left with? About 16 cars in this lead pack right now. Something's bound to happen. We've tried to crash a couple of times, but they're kind of settling in. But things are getting a little bit more exciting with about 16 laps left to go. We see the 02 of Richard Elliott go to the middle. He's got the 64 of Maskowitz with him. Neagles down to the bottom. They're moving around so much, I don't even know if I can call it all. But Neagles now to the point. He is going to get down underneath Dylan Jones. He's got a little bit of help right there behind him, and he's going to go to the point now. It looks like the 03 of Kenneth McCullough now with a good push. Kenneth McCullough up 27 spots in this race. We are 3 wide for the lead at Daytona as we head into 15 laps left to go here, Alex. This is going to come down to the wire.
Joey Mashkovitz doing a pretty good job with the 0-2. Richard Elliott went to the middle, and then Cody Neagles straight away to the inside blocked him off. But it is still Dylan C. Jones in the number 30 body in white Ford Mustang that will lead us across the line as we go into turn 3 off of the back stretch. This is too close to call. And diving low to the low side, that's Matthew Baker in the 5. There's and there we see him picture in picture once again, the NBG Motorsports driver in the Chevy Camaro. He's to the inside now of Logan Helton. We come across the line. It is 14 laps remaining. Call that 15 including this one. But Dylan C. Jones hanging on to the race lead by a finger thread. There's some bump drafting down at the bottom And one of the cars, I think, is Christopher E. Carter in the 25. He's got, I think, Kenneth McCulloch Jr. in front of him in the 03 Camaro. But more to the point, this is where now the activity starts to increase. And Stephen Miles is waiting. He's to the low side, is the number 24 in the Robbie Gordon tribute band livery. But more to the point, Dylan C. Jones. And there's Hennings just in front. He keeps to the inside, goes down below the apron. Good, solid idea by the 74, keeps out of the way. But Logan Helton retakes the lead. He's got Paleschki bump drafting him. I think McCulloch Jr. is there. So is Baker. So is Elliott to the low side. We have got not much long in this motor race left to run. We've got about 32.5 miles left to go. Big wobble for Austin Cole down the back stretch. He kept a hold of it. Something definitely puckered up there for the number 18 in M&M's car. But more to the point, Logan Helton finds himself in the front position at the grid. But look at Dylan C. Jones. He's getting the slingshot. He gets through on Paleschki, but Logan Helton down to the middle of the track, covers him off. But look on the inside. Look on the inside. Kenneth McCulloch Jr. has an opportunity, and he's got Matthew Baker right with him behind, pushing him along.
Almost. They tried to crash again there, Alice. We've seen that a couple times. Little contact with Helton in the back. Helton got a little wiggle. Looked like the 30 car got in the back as they came across the line. Helton with a great save. We are 3 wide, 12 laps left to go. Everybody's leaving everything out there on the track right now. Nobody's holding back. We saw him settle out single file earlier, but not anymore. And here comes Paleschki down to the bottom. He is going to have help from the 18 of Call. They're going to take the lead away from Helton, but Helton's going to get some help coming up on the outside. It looks like Baker one more time. Baker and Helton kind of glued together, but that inside line pretty well organized as we come across the stripe, and it's going to be Helton to the lead right now, but Paleschki right there on the bottom. But here comes that outside line one more time, and look, sitting there, that third car in line on the outside is the 06 of Cody Neagles trying to get back to the point.
Yeah, this is where things can get very, very difficult. Now they're going down the backstretch. Next time around it will be 10 laps, 25 miles to decide our winner of the 2026 Hangover 250 live here on the Digital Racing Sports Network. It's Helton that leads now. It's Paleschki. Paleschki by a front bumper as they come out of the next corner. And they're going to head towards the tri-oval here. 10 laps to go until the checkered. It's Helton that leads. Baker in second, Paleschki, Neagles, Cole, Jones, Caldwell, McCulloch Jr. McCulloch Jr. gets up into 7th spot. Stephen Miles still staying behind everybody else as things are getting to that inevitable crescendo as they now will head down into turn 3 once again here on lap number 91 out of 100. Helton to the lead, Paleschki leading the inside trade.
Here goes Baker.
But more to the point, here goes Baker. Baker down to the low side, he takes the lead from Helton.
Baker been doing a good job pushing Helton. He saw an opportunity to get to the bottom and get in front of that bottom line. He took it. But again, that outside line just getting a little bit better pace off the corners. And Helton with a good push from Neagles. Dylan Jones right there and Falkenham right there is a 4th car in line on the outside. We got a car around. It looks like it's Bradley Stefan.
Yeah, Bradley Stefan, the Camry, unfortunately, a good run for him now. But we are into single digits, and Cody Neagles is back out front. Cody Neagles has been waiting for his opportunity, and I'm sure there's going to be some activity from the number 28 of Stephen Miles in the DuPont liveried car. So this is going to be the case of who's going to bet it all on black. That's more the point. Who is going to do what they can? And Neagles has got he's got that initial lead, but coming down the back stretch here on on the front stretch through the tri-oval, it's Nightmare Esports, Cody Neagles that leads from Logan Helton. Dylan C. Jones back up into the top 3. Falkingham and Baker pretty much side by side. Baker to the low side of the circuit through here into T1. Can he make the run? He's got Paleschki right behind him. And that is where this could be very, very crucial. There's Austin Cole in the M&M Special Toyota Camry. But more to the point, Cody Neagles has done exactly what he's needed to do. Bide his time, make his moves. But Stephen Miles is leaving it a little bit late to chance of something happening in front. coming up to now 7 laps to go. This is where we could see a possible another lead change. Daniel Falkingham to the inside, being bump drafted along by Matthew Baker, but Niegels and Helton at the minute seem to be working very, very well together. But Falkingham to the inside for the race lead, half a car length ahead of Cody Niegels as we head onto the back straightaway here on lap number 94 out of 100.
6 laps left to go, 7 laps left to go in this race. Niegels, Helton, Falkenham, Jones, that looks like to be our strongest contenders here right now, but look at Baker down there on the bottom trying to push Falkenham back to the front. A little bit of a side draft gave Falkenham a chance to get by Niegels, but he has to drop back just a little bit, and it looks like about our top 6 cars here, but a little separation back to the 27 of Joey Allen. But look at Niegels here. Oh, we got another caution. We got another caution. Didn't see what happened there, but it looks like second caution of the race.
So, well, you know what this means? We could have a big old sprint right till the checkered. I mean, if it goes down to the last 2 or 3 laps, but well, that yeah, not too. I mean, for us to run to caution for that long, kudos to all the drivers. Todd Merkel, I've just seen, has entered pit lane and he's picked up damage. Bradley Stefan has come into the pits.
Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. I might take a look here at Merkel.
So this could be the reason why we got the caution out then. So let's have a look. So they're going into the turn. So it looks to be, I think, is that turn 3 or is that turn 1? Oh, right. It's 0, 2 and 81.
Elliott.
So Paleschke. Oh, dear. So Paleschke and the 0-2, then Austin Cole, and then all of a sudden, bang, Todd Merkel, front end gets absolutely harpooned.
And contact Miles wall as well.
Hey.
Let's see if we can go back here just a little bit and see that one more time. I didn't quite see what was going on there at first, but see if we can see what happened with Paleschke. Back here one more time, see if we can catch up on that.
Yeah, so it's coming into the corner, so
Elliott's on the outside.
Yeah, Elliott's on the outside. Then Paleschke. So Elliott, I think, has tried to go. Oh, there's a little tap, and then there's a second tap.
Yeah, was that a little tap or a little netcode? I'm not sure which one, because it actually looked like there was a little separation between them, unfortunately. But it was contact between the 02 and the 81, whatever it was there. That definitely started that. Merkel kind of tried to check up, got a little punt from behind, and then here comes Miles, going to come into the crash as well. So, unfortunately, not a good day for Merkel. He was already down a lap, but that is definitely going to end his day, if at least end his chance at any kind of contention. So we're going to go back to live time here and see.
And also, look, there's a lot of pit stops happening. Miles is in, Allen, Prince, Carter, Vondell, McClendon, McCulloch. I think, you know what I said earlier on, whether we could have people coming in for a splash and dash, it looks like we're spot on the money with that one.
Yeah, they're going to come in. I think one thing you're going to think about right now, too, is we're 5 laps left to go. We're going to go back to green probably with about maybe 2 or 3. If we can get back to green with about 3 laps left to go, we'll still have a chance for 3 green-white checkers. So if you're kind of back there in the back right now, you might be thinking, I need to get enough fuel, because our leaders pitted back on lap 63. So they're going to be 37 laps in if we stayed under green. If we have a couple of green-white cautions, this might be pretty tough. Might be a nip and tuck here on the amount of fuel for our leaders here if we have multiple green-white checkered attempts.
Yeah, that's going to be quite crucial, I think, especially when your name is Cody Niegels. But Cody, credit where credit is due, he played the waiting game, and in these super speedway races, that can make all the difference. And for me, I mean, we now look at the laps led. Stephen Miles, 33 laps led in total. And where is he at the moment? Stephen Miles, 19th. Logan Helton, up 28 spots, has led 15 laps. He's P2. Dylan C. Jones, currently running out your overall top 3. 8 laps by him. Quinton Steinbach, who's 29th at the moment. 8 laps. Andrew Paleschke has led 7. Cody Niegels, 6. Daniel Falkingham, 6. John Ward and Richard Elliott, 5 and 2 laps led apiece. And then McCulloch Jr., Mashkovitz, Carter, Barksdale, Scott Jr. and Merkel have all led a lap at one point. So this is where we're going to see what happens after this second caution goes away. And lights out on the pace truck, so we will go to green with, I think, 4 to go then here, Chris, for the Hangover 250 live here on the Digital Racing Sports Network.
Yeah, 3 or 4 left to go. That means we're not going to have our first attempt at a green-white checkered, so we'll still have 3 attempts left if something happens here. But let's hope it doesn't. Let's hopefully we can get a green flag here. We go the last 3 or 4 laps without a caution flag, but they're starting to get dicey up here to the front. We got money on the line. 100 laps here at Daytona. Everybody wants to win this race. If you're in the top 10, heck, if you're even in the lead draft right now, you think you got a chance at it. So let's see how this plays out. But it's Eagles, Helton, Jones, Falk, and Baker. You guys have worked well together all day long. They kind of left the likes of John Ward. Unfortunately, John Ward must have got involved in something earlier. He's now down a lap. He was kind of working with that group as well earlier, but unfortunately, it looks like his chance for a win here is out the window. We'll go down the back straightaway one more time, Alex. We're going to come to the line through 3 and 4. 3 laps left to go when we take it. Who is going to take this race? Appreciate everybody being out there watching it here at DRSN. I'm Chris Murphy with Alex Goldschmidt. Appreciate you being there and jumping in there to chat with us as well. So it's been a fun day, been a great race, but we're not quite done yet.
So, the Hangover 250 comes down to its final hurrah, the last 3 laps of the race. Cody Neagles, who put it on pole position overall and also with it took the Heat 1 victory. He is effectively 7.5 miles away from taking glory here at the World Centre of Racing, here at the Hangover 250 live from the Daytona International Speedway. So, before we go to green, here's your top 10. It's Neagles from Helton, Jones, Falkingham, Baker, McCulloch Jr., Allen, Elliott, Caldwell, and Pileschke. Pace truck into the pits. Barney, the flag marshal, will wave us back to green flag, and it's pedal to the metal. Great start, great restart there. Michael Barksdale has just got off the circuit, unfortunately, and has dropped down to 21st. There's a big wreck in the back. It's the 00 that's gone around. And that means we've had our 3rd caution. I did think it might be the case, and the pace truck has instantly been called.
Did we even officially go to green right there, or was it called off?
We did. No, we did go to green, but yeah, the pace truck is that was Michael Barksdale. That was the reason for our 3rd caution of the night.
Let's see if we can see what happened there. Let me get a better camera angle than that. So Barksdale back there, right there in the middle. He's right there behind the 60, and it looks like kind of not people in front getting that great of a start, and he kind of has to he gets into the back of the 60 a little bit, it looks like right there, and gets a little bit sideways trying to check up, and unfortunately the 76 of Allen, I don't know if they made any contact or not. It's kind of hard to tell from that angle. We'll have to take a look here, maybe from the inside camera of the 76er, and see if we can see what happened. Oh, that's not a very good shot. So I switch back and forth from I switch back and forth from racing to broadcasting, and my in-car camera goes. So here's you can see the 00. Yeah.
Yeah, Barksdale just lost it on his own. The back end was just getting so loose, and then it just became an uncontrollable car, and as a result of that, didn't help him really. That's what can happen. That's what can happen in a motor race.
So we are going to get our first opportunity to green-white checkered, as they're going to come across the line here with about 2 laps left to go. It's Neagles, Jones, and Helton. Get back up to the front of the pack. And we're kind of getting stuff sorted back out. It looks like, see if anybody dives down into the pits here. No, they're going to stay out on the racetrack. So our leaders pitted back on lap 63. So they've ran about 37 laps now, almost 37 laps, 36 at this point. And a couple of green-white cautions. Fortunately, they've had a few laps under caution here right now that may extend that fuel mileage out, but we'll see how it works out for our leaders here. It's Neagles, Jones, Helton, Baker, and Falkingham, our top 5.
Tucker McLennan saying, holy net code, just a second ago in the garage channel. So, yeah, it's been a difficult one for Tucker McLennan. I mean, he was running so well in this race, and the thing is, it can be the case of how can I make this race work for me? Well, Cody, they're now doing the waiver rounds as well to help some of the drivers get to the lead lap. which is going to be quite crucial on this particular occasion. And there's John Ward bringing his car up to speed.
Yeah, looks like John Ward's going to get the lucky dog. We talked about him losing a lap earlier, so little chance for him to get back on the lead lap. So he's going to have to go all the way around, start at the end of the longest line, but he will be on the lead lap. And if we get a couple of attempts at green-white caution, he still might get up to the front of this before it's over with.
Well, looks like Logan's got some support welcoming Tammy Helton into the chat, saying let's go 63. So now it's the case of the drivers just waiting for that opportunity, and you can see now. Look at this: Neagles, Helton, and who's that? Matthew Baker. They're down below the apron on the circuit, probably trying to make sure that nothing's going to come to. They're not going to come to grief, because we've still got the lights on the pace truck here for the Hangover 250. I mean, I was hoping we were going to be green right the way up until the end of lap 100, but of course, in rapid succession, we've had 2 successive cautions. So hopefully next time around, the pace truck will extinguish its lights, and then we can go racing once again. But you know, Cody Neagles, he's played the smart game. Stephen Miles, it hasn't quite worked out for the 28 from Laser Racing, who was leading, who led 33 laps in total, so 1/3 distance of the Hangover 250. But if I was, say, Logan Helton, I'd probably be happy to not be on the front row of the restart, because if you're the car out front, you've got to time it perfectly. And then you look at Dylan C. Jones and the body in white Mustang, the number 30, who's up there. Anyone, if you think you can call this race right now, believe you me, even myself and Chris are scratching our heads as to thinking who's going to win the Hangover 250 here in 2026.
Well,
but we're going to find out.
Yeah, I'm looking at Neagles and Jones going to start on the front row of this side by side, and they got Helton and Baker both right there behind him, and both Helton and Baker have shown that they're really good at pushing throughout this whole race. So we're going to see how this plays out as we head down the stripe down through into turn number 1. We're kind of rolling down the back straightaway right now, going to come to green. But I think I don't even know which line I want to be in right now, or where position, you know, really where you want to be on a restart like this is out in front, because if anything does happen, hopefully it's happening behind you. So let's see what Neagles can do as we come through 3 and 4. Going to come across, take the green flag for our first green-white checkered attempt here. We got 3 attempts at this. So let's see if they can make it to the white flag. It'll be over with. So let's see what happens here. Neagles and Jones going to bring us to the line.
So hold on to your hats. It's time for, as good old Jim Ross would say, a good old slobber knocker about to happen here at Daytona International Speedway for the final few moments of the Hangover 250 pace truck in pit road. And now it's going to be Neagles and Jones that will bring us to hopefully our first attempt at a green and white checkered, as it is pedal to the metal. 2 laps remaining here at the Hangover 250. That's 5 miles of the world's centre of speed as Neagles gets the jump he needed. Jones in second, Baker in third, McCulloch Jr. up from third to the first. The last starting position on the grid rounds out the top 4. Helton, Falkingham, Elliott, Paleschke, Cole and Caldwell.
Helton's going to come down to the bottom with some help from Falkenham, see if they can make a run down here. It's Neagles and Jones. Baker up on the top. They are together. They're glued together, that top 3.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very crucial now, because next time around it will be the white flag lap. So this is going to be very, very interesting how things are going to develop as Matthew Baker to the low side. And I think that was that was the 0-2 of Elliott rounding off the wall. White flag is out for the Hangover 250 as we go through into turn 1. It's Baker to the inside of Neagles. Helton looking to get the slipstream as well, with Jones to the outside in the number 30. But Neagles getting bump drafted along by
it's going to crash. They're going to crash.
Oh, no. That's Dylan Jones. He just about saved it. But there is the big one on the backstretch. Oh, no.
Big one happens on the backstretch on the white flag gap. They're going to race to the checkered flag. We're going to keep an eye on this up front. It's Neagles and Elliott now. Caldwell, Baker down there on the bottom. It looks like it's going to between the top 3. Oh, there goes the Down on the bottom of the racetrack, it's going to be Neagles coming to the stripe. Neagles going to take the win here in the Hangover 250. Elliott second. Michael Caldwell there in third. Baker's going to fall back to fourth. Maskowicz, Helton, Jeff Merck, Falkenham's going to be in eighth spot. Andrew Plesky, Dylan Jones going to round out our top 10.
Oh, I was counting my heartbeat round about then when we saw that big wreck, and that was coming out of turns one, coming out of the trioval into turn 1 and 2. But that is something you don't want to see. We're going to see. There's Austin Cole into the side of the. Yeah, so Austin Cole gets loose. Then it's also the 0-3.
Looks like it might have actually started a little closer to the front. Watch the 30 of Jones here.
Yeah, well, Jones. Oh, he gets a tap, and that was from the 0. That was from.
Yeah, it looked like the 03.
That was Kenneth McCulloch Jr. And then, oh well, who was on their roof? That was the 7. That was not Austin Cole, who's running in the M&M livery, but that was somebody else who was on their lid, and it managed to end up on all 4 wheels. And Michael Barksdale comes through all of it. So does Brian Hennings. But my goodness, yeah. So it was the.
We'll go back here one more time. There we go.
Yeah. So Falkingham gets out of the way, and Dylan C. Jones, he gets a tag from Austin Cole, gets turfed in, and then gets a hit from behind by the number 11. And then that cannonballs him into the 76 of Kevin Allen. So that just all. Now, who was that that was on their route? Who was that was being pushed by Christopher E. Carter? Was that Mike?
It's Kevin Allen.
Was that on Kevin Allen in the. Oh no, that's Kevin Allen at the top. But no, there was the number 7 in the middle. That wasn't Austin Cole, but that was a number 7 car. That was somebody else.
Makes it tough.
Couldn't make out who it was.
It makes it tough for me when they don't have the same time on the scoring. Big accident there coming to the checker. We ran caution. Maybe we were on caution free for what? 80 laps?
Best part of.
Yeah, 80 laps. First caution way back on lap 15. But there's going to be our podium tonight. It's going to be Cody Neagles, Richard Elliott, and Maxwell Caldwell. We'll see if anybody joined our chat here. See if anyone's coming for an interview here.
No one's in the waiting room as we speak at the moment, but Cody Neagles timed it to absolute perfection and managed to get the restart. The restart was going to be, oh dear, poor old Matt Metler. He wasn't able to finish the race. He retired. He had an emergency and had to bail. His son decided to turn on the bathtub and it was overflowing.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, poor old Matt Metler with a waterfall situation courtesy of his son. But wow, what a way to bring 2026 in here with a bang at the Digital Racing Sports Network with the Hangover 250. That was a mega race. That was a mega race. That was, Chris.
Yeah, we'll take a look here at the finish one more time. Cody Neagles here, going to come off at turn 3 and 4, and he's got the O2 of Elliott right there behind. That top line just so well organized. Come off the corners, they're going to come to the stripe. Take a look here at the finish line, and it's going to be Neagles going across the line first. Elliott and Caldwell. Fantastic race here today from these guys. I'm glad.
And it looks like we do have our top 3 in the waiting room, ready to speak to us here at the Hangover 250. Shall I start things off?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your unofficial winner of the Hangover 250 from Nightmare Esports, Cody Neagles. How on earth did you get to the front of that point? Because you just won the Hangover 250, buddy, here at Daytona. Well done.
Yeah, all thanks to my teammate or teammates. Unfortunately, they got wrecked on that last restart, but I was working with Daniel Falkingham, Logan Helton, Matthew Baker, Jeff Merck, and Dylan Jones, and we were all right where we needed to be. But then when the wreck happened, it took honestly about all of them out, and I hate it for them, man. I felt like we we had the strategy as a team. We pitted early, like at the very start of that run after the caution. We pitted early and caught the pack before we pitted again because we all figured we could, and we just wanted to keep a clean car because it was a no faster pair race. Um, we had the extra fuel at the end too because of that, because everyone had to pit and we were able to go a few laps further. So it gave us fresher tires and extra fuel in the race. And I hated because the team didn't get the finishes as a whole that we deserved. I only think we cashed no, I guess we did a little better. We cashed 4, but I at least think one of them should have got second or third because we had the whole front completely locked down until that wreck happened.
I mean, Dylan was kind of being your wingman for a lot of it, and also, he did lead a few of the laps. But it is all about strategy in these motor races when it comes to super speedway action, isn't it, Cody?
Yeah, it definitely is. You got to use a lot of instinct. You got to have a lot of help from teammates. It really is about, lane choice, knowing who do you want lined up with you pushing, which is why I picked bottom and then shot up in front of Dylan because I trusted him. I'm definitely going to take care of him because he deserved to make a little bit of money off of that. So I will make it right with Dylan. I do appreciate the push from him. Looked like he
Mm.
might have been getting pushed through a little bit. We will see. I haven't really had a chance to look at it, but there's just so much variables in these races, and it's just impossible to do it alone.
Well, Cody, congratulations. Victory lane is yours for the Hangover 250. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, and give a shout out to everyone that I mentioned earlier at NBG. Special shout out to Dylan too for giving me a push there. Want to thank you for both of you guys for broadcasting the race. Got to thank James Waring for putting on the race, and got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Brilliant. Cody, what a way to see in 2026. Our Hangover 250 winner here at Daytona. Congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
So, big thank you there to Cody Neagles, our Hangover 250 race winner. I think, Chris, um, let's get you chatting with our second place finisher, the 0-2 of Richard Elliott.
Richard, hey, you in the booth here with Chris and Alex? Or are you with me there, buddy?
I'm here.
Excellent. Hey, man, you ran up towards the front a lot early. You kind of weren't really there at the end. But the accident happened there in front of you. You were able to get up into second. You were doing a great job of pushing all day long. Did you think you had something for Cody there at the end if maybe that accident hadn't happened?
Yeah, we were trying. Kenny was up there. He got in that incident on the backstretch. We were trying to figure out if we were going to go middle or what to do. We didn't have much of a game plan. It was just waiting to see where cars were going to be and make a move, I guess. But Cody's pretty good at leading the line, so he's tough to get around.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to make a game plan at Daytona when you don't know what everybody else is doing around you. There's a lot of shuffling going on. I mean, we ran really long green flag rug. That was really great to see here. And then, but we knew once we had that first caution that second caution there towards the end, everybody getting bunched up, it was going to get exciting. And you said you had Kenny right there with you. The 02 and the 03 looked really good. I thought you guys had a shot to get there.
Yeah, but you just never know what happens. I think car in front of him may have touched the wall, and he kind of moved down. They bumper hooked each other, and I mean, so any game plan you had would have been gone at that point. So,
Well, congrats on a good run today. It was really good to see you out there. But before we let you go, do you have anybody you want to give a thanks to?
yeah, shout out to y'all for coming on and doing this. Jimmy and James for putting it on. T. McCullough, Kenny, Josh, Mark Vondale, and we had Joseph Allen running with us today. All good.
Well, congrats on a good run there, Richard, and I'm sure we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.
All right,
Well,
go ahead there, Alex.
yeah. And last but by certainly no means least, it was a Chevy top 3 podium lockout. And the man that brought it home in third place, making up 17 positions, Maxwell Caldwell in the 94 Chevy joins us in the post-race interview show. Maxwell, heck of a race for you there.
Oh my God, that race was awesome, start to finish. Like that, I was just telling the guys that was some of the hardest racing I've been a part of without the massive crashes. Like that was pretty insane the majority of the time.
I mean, the intensity must have been on a completely different level. When we had our first caution on lap 15, then we went back to green, and then with about 5 to go, we were running like consistently 75 to 80 laps under green flag. The close nature of NASCAR always provides some of the best racing, and when everyone was either deciding, do I go high, do I go low, and then it's bump draft central. But to come out of it starting 20th on the grid to round out the rostrum, you must be happier than the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland right now.
Yeah, no, it's freaking awesome. So me and my buddies just got into some of this league and some of these guys that come and do these races all the time, and we're still learning everybody in the league. Some of them I've raced with in other areas. I recognize some names, but it's just been fun to come and see the step up in competition. Because even in leagues I run or officials, like, you can't get this kind of plate racing without people just being completely stupid. But this is as aggressive and as nuts and chaotic as you can get without just having a major pile up. And I mean, that is, you talk about us there on those last few restarts. Me and my boys were on edge the whole time, so that was insane. And yeah, to come out third, I was telling Richard in the waiting room, I said those seas parted for us whenever they all kind of wrecked below, and I said I was not lifting the last 2 laps, and I sure as heck didn't. I'm shocked he has a rear bumper as much as I was hitting it that first lap.
Well, you see, you're definitely hammered down as soon as the restart took place, and then, as you said, the seas parted here at Daytona, and you pick up P3. So, great job, Maxwell. Well done on the P3 tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, what a blessing it is to be able to come and run with these guys, to be able to have the equipment to do it. It's just been a major blessing in my life. It's awesome. Got to thank the team, me, Todd Merkel, Andrew Pileshi, Justin Lewis, and Austin Cole. We're all running together today. 1320 Enterprises had a good showing. Not everybody with a good finish with that last little incident, but we were there the majority of the day, so thankful for them. Got to thank the admins for putting these events on and inviting us. Man, it's such a blast to run. It's so much fun to run with these guys, and I can't wait to run some more. Congrats to Cody. I run with him in some other leagues, so kudos to him for winning. It's not shocking. He's really good at the plate racing. And last but not least, got to thank the sponsor on the hood, Merkel Racing Engines. Todd Merkel there, teammate with me. He sponsors the car and has for about 3 years now. So glad to always get him shout-outs and thanks and the interviews and broadcast, and for you guys as well. I mean, y'all put on a heck of a broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. I've dabbled in broadcasting some. I know it's not an easy job, but hey, y'all do a great job, and I can't wait to go back and hear this one.
And so glad to hear from you, Maxwell. Well done on the P3 tonight, and look forward to seeing you hopefully have a really successful 2026. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, Alex,
I think
what do we do after that?
James Waring looks to be in the wearing room for JW Paint. Should we drag him in?
Might as well.
Well, let's see. James, welcome into the post-race interview show. How are you, buddy? You had a busy time down in the race control booth.
I wasn't too bad. Some of these races, I've seen them. I mean, we're running 2 laps on a caution, but to get almost 70 laps green flag racing, a couple green flag pit stops, that was incredible.
I know. We here at DRSN have to say big thank you to the opportunity for myself and Chris to jump on board and broadcast what has been an absolutely great way to kickstart our 2026 with the Hangover 250. We couldn't believe how close the racing was, and when you think about it, the top 9 over the stripe covered by just over 0.6 of a second. At one time, we had 18 to 20 cars running within 1.2 seconds of each other. It just goes to show how clean racing really can be.
Yes, when these guys put their mind to it, they can put off some incredible racing. Some of the races at Talladega we've done, a couple races ago in the truck races, we're running 4 wide, 7-8 rows deep. So when these guys can bring their A game, they can put on one heck of a show.
Yeah, James.
And go on.
Go right ahead, Alex. Go right ahead.
No, I'd finish what I was going to say.
Now, again, James, I echo what Alex said. Thanks again for the opportunity to come out today. This was just a fantastic race. This run, kind of running around with this group of guys here for the last week. They put on just one heck of a show, and they did again today. So what do we have looking forward to next from JW Paint, Tiger Racing, and BDS?
Actually, we're going to kind of go into the background for the next couple of weeks. We got PGR 500 coming up. We got the MRL 500. There's a couple big 500 races coming up, of course, with the beginning of NASCAR season. So a couple of the other promoters. So we're just going to be supporting them best we can, running a lot of just, small or little weekly races that we run, little 40, 50 lappers to help get the guys ready for these bigger races. Give a shout out. I was watching your all's broadcast. You did an incredible job. I want to thank you all so much for jumping on board such short notice, helping us out there tonight. Did a great job.
Appreciate it, James. Appreciate the opportunity, and really look forward to the next time. It helps a lot too when I could call my buddy Alex to come in and help out. He carries me a lot, so but appreciate the positive feedback there, and we really look forward to more events in the future.
Yes, definitely look forward to working with y'all again in the future. Thank you all very much.
You bet. Well, you said it, Alex. I mean, how do we start where do we go from here in 2026? I know we've got a couple races next week we're going to do. We got a endurance race we're doing on Monday. We got a GT4 race on Tuesday, and then back here on DRSN for the Aces Up Sim Sports 360 series. Can we find anything better to top what we just saw today, my friend?
At the moment, quite literally a big fat 0 from me on that front, Chris. But a big thank you to everyone that's been watching on the Digital Racing Sports Network here for live coverage of the Hangover 250 here at the World Centre of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. You've been in the company of Chris Murphy and Alex Goldschmidt. A big thank you to High Gear Racing, JW Paints and BDS for allowing us the opportunity to cover what has been a great event. Won by the number 6 Chevy of Cody Neagles with Richard Elliott and Maxwell Caldwell, rounding out an all Chevrolet podium here at Daytona International Speedway. Don't forget, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe whilst you're at it. Any little click you can do can help us out. We want to say a big thank you to everyone that was active in the YouTube chat. We had over 30 people watching live at one point or another. The next event on the Digital Racing Sim Network will be January 7th as the Aces Up 360 Winter Sprint Series returns, as we will head to the famed USA International Speedway. From us all here at DRSN, it's good night for now. Thank you for watching and keep it pinned.